guys, Crimson Fury here. And he's hiding from us. I don't know why. I don't know what's going on. Okay. With the Batman shirt, which is perfect. Owl Man. It's just so funny because even the amount of who's that are in this comic is comical, like literally, because I know they're doing it on purpose, but they do it just to like always harken back to the owl. Like everything's about the owl, like literally, especially towards the end, the amount of who's who. Oh my god, I love that Wolvy. And I will say, just like I said with looking at some of the mediums now. Well, you do a little intro on the Court of Owls if you want, because even for me, I don't know much with the comic there.
Welcome everyone
Yes.
to the Comic Warriors. I am Wolverine. You can call me Wolvy. This is Crimson Fury.
Right.
And I have been I've been a comic reader for most of my life. Crim is fairly new to this whole thing.
Yes.
Within the past couple years or so. Or is it still just the past? No, it's the past couple years, right?
Yeah, I would say, especially just
passage of time is weird.
Yeah. Oh my god, especially with some of the breaks and just things that happen between us throughout the whole year. So, hoping for a better 2026. But yeah, I mean, I've only read some. Again, my main thing is like typically Marvel. So I think any of the DC that we've done with Mr. Miracle, doing both Batmans, I never read anything on DC. I think ever growing up, it was always Marvel.
Yeah, so that's our background, and that's why we're here.
Yes,
we do this little month, usually monthly. This month it's been bi-weekly.
Yes.
A little book club, and
No, I was just gonna say in 2026, I would like to honestly continue the bi-weekly. I just think obviously end of year's tough with holidays coming up, but
yeah.
Yeah.
Next episode's gonna be next month.
Yes, and that'll be next month. Yes.
But today I'm very excited because we're jumping into probably one of my favorite Batman comics of all time.
I would reread this whole thing again. I would just like I have to say that I think out of every podcast that we've done, and this is technically 1 or 2 chapters longer than Black Mirror, and I remember even talking to Wolvy after. I'm like, oh, this is going to take me even longer to read. I'm not sure if we could do it in the 2 weeks because I want to do bi-weekly. And I actually read this faster than I read Black Mirror. I finished this much faster because I
shockingly did too, even though it only took me about an hour to read Black Mirror.
You read this shorter?
I think this took like 45 minutes.
Yeah, well, I don't know what it is that even though that and not only is it more pages, but it's actually more wordy than Black Mirror, and it's for whatever reason, I didn't really have to go back and reread much. It just sank in. Like, it's very easy to digest in the writing, which is just Scott Snyder. He's amazing. Yeah, I think it's so funny. There was one day where I was like, okay, let me read at least 2 chapters a day to make sure I'm done by the podcast. And then I think last Sunday I did like 8 chapters in one day, and there's only like 11 in this book. So like, I was like, oh, okay, I only have 2 chapters left or 3. So like, I just didn't stop.
It honestly confuses me a little bit because it's the same amount of issues as Black Mirror. But
I thought it was longer. Okay.
Like, this is a thick book.
That's why when I saw it, I was like, oh, Wolvy, that's a big one. But then like,
I think the reason is like I think these issues had more pages, like individually.
Okay.
So honestly, I don't know. It's not like I counted the pages here, but
Right.
Like, but I loved this book. This is one I've been looking forward to getting to, especially because Batman is one of my favorite comic characters just of all time, and also, I know I'm wearing the same shirt as last episode. It's been 2 weeks. I washed it. It's okay.
We did 2 Batmans in a row, so it works.
I also couldn't find my other Batman shirts, so I'm just going with this one again.
Okay, I was like, knowing you, I was like, I'm sure he has like a multitude.
I know I have at least 2 more.
Yeah, that's all. I thought the same. I was like, knowing him, I'm sure he has at least like 3 or 4 of these shirts. Yeah, and I just need to buy some. So I just have my red shirt on. But yeah, like, wow, it's just I think going more where you're seeing more history here. Where Black Mirror was, I mean, amazing for the horror, what it was, and how intense and terrifying it was. Especially just to see that through a comic. Seeing more of like the history here in Court of Owls, actually, and normally I don't really go for like a lot of so much of the background, but like I could sit down and read so much lore on Batman all day. Like, so for me, that was not anything where it felt like a slow burn or nothing. Like, all of it is important. And just really even leading up to some of the revelations, which are many, because you know, typically you have a story and it's like, you know, this one big twist towards the end. Where here, like, some of these twists are like in chapter 3, so like it's pretty early on, and you're like, oh shit, and then like every other chapter is like, oh shit.
You can tell Black Mirror was like the test run for how Snyder would be on Batman, like on DC's part.
Yeah.
And then as soon as that was like a success, they were like, okay, you can have free reign to just go wild with this. Like, it's a new universe. It's a, like, you can keep whatever you want. You can throw away whatever you want. Just you know, like you have freedom here to create this Gotham that you want to use.
Yes.
At the same time, there also was a lot of restrictions when it came to like how they could implement the new universe. Because like it had to be a new universe, so they had to like a lot of the creators had to follow a lot of these restrictions. Though Snyder was one of the ones that they definitely eased up on, because they were like, oh, he's got this. Like,
right? Well, yeah. I mean, with Black Mirror, I guess they weren't concerned, but we were just talking about that too. I'm glad you're explaining that, because even for me, I think I had people ask me, you know, from our last podcast, or like in between, not during the podcast, but just off stream, that they were like, what is the New 52? I was like, I actually don't know. Not completely. I don't know why they did it.
So, a lot of times, this has happened multiple times with DC. Marvel has never actually had a full reboot, but DC, usually it's following some sort of crisis event, because they like to name their big events crises. And it was... I want to say it was coming off the heels of Final Crisis. Then there was a miniseries called 52, which I say miniseries very loosely because there was 52 issues.
Oh, okay. That's why I was like, where did that 52 number come from?
Yeah, so I'm not entirely versed on the events leading up to it. That's honestly something that's a blind spot I need to go further into in my own.
Okay, yeah, I mean, and that's something I'm sure we'll be getting into so many of these comics from the New 52, so we'll definitely get into that more. Because I honestly, if you want my assumption, I literally wrote it down in my outline. I thought it was like maybe like to 52 superheroes, like if there's certain heroes like in the universe, or like that they're focusing on, or
sort of.
Okay.
It was like, I don't know, like the number 52 had like significance in a bunch of different ways.
Okay.
With like 52 universes.
Ooh.
And like,
oh, that makes more sense.
like it was it felt like an arbitrary number, but I'm sure there was a reason.
Right.
But so the New 52 was literally the new 52 universes of this new multiverse. And it just like they just started everything over from scratch, because DC was not doing too well. Like, it wasn't selling a ton. Right. And they were like, oh, well, one of the reasons is probably because new readers can't just like jump into this. Like, we have so much history with these characters, so let's reboot it all and try to keep it as simple as possible for new readers to just jump in.
Okay,
and in doing so, yeah, it makes sense on paper. In execution, they botched quite a few things, and
I know,
like,
because
revamped some heroes that did not really need revamping. They changed the origin of some heroes, like Wonder Woman.
Oh.
And that was not well received.
Is she not still an Amazoness? She better be.
No, well,
no.
She was born on Themyscira,
right?
But she was directly a daughter of Zeus rather than
Okay.
being like molded from clay, like how she was originally.
Right.
Um,
Like how they make the Amazons, yeah.
yeah, it was weird.
Okay. I mean, if you think they
It
were good,
wasn't received very well, and it ended up getting retconned out of existence. A lot of stuff in early New 52 ended up getting retconned out of existence, if not through the course of New 52, then immediately after with Rebirth. Where Rebirth was like, oh, okay, New 52 on a critical level did not do very well. So what we're going to do is we're going to take the parts that we liked from New 52 and take the parts that we liked from the post-crisis era, which was right before that, and mash them together.
yeah, because when we were reading Black Mirror, well, that was Final Crisis. Post Crisis is not the same thing, is it?
Mm-hmm.
Post is that just after Final
So
Crisis?
that was post-crisis era. Yeah.
Yeah, because Black Mirror is literally directly after that, because that's where that story picks up from, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, that's interesting. Yeah, because I was actually thinking to myself, I was like, I need to ask him what New 52 is, because I just know of it, but I didn't know the significance of it.
On the simplest form, it was a full universe relaunch for new readers that overall did not go over well, but it had some good ideas in it. One of the best parts of it, it also had its ups and downs, but one of the best parts, just throughout most of the whole thing, was Scott Snyder's Batman.
I mean, God, especially this one.
This comic came out and basically just hit the ground running so strongly that it kickstarted a lot of people reading Batman just as a whole. And honestly, it's something we're starting to see again with Absolute Batman, because it's becoming kind of this cultural... people are calling it a watershed moment, where it's like it's getting a lot of new readers in, and it's getting people reading again that haven't read in like since before New 52. Like
me.
Yeah.
I mean, I actually want to read more of this universe because of this one. So like it's exciting, yeah.
And to date the episode a bit, just yesterday they announced that Absolute Batman is getting its 10th reprint of its first issue or first volume.
Oh.
Which
so
every time they
so which one do I have?
It's that one.
It is this one. Oh, okay, there you go.
So every time every time they actually, it might just be the first issue.
Oh, okay.
Because essentially they've been releasing each issue monthly.
Oh, okay.
And we're like, I think we're either today or within the next week we're getting 15.
15 of them?
15.
Oh, issue 15.
No,
issue 15. I was like, oh my god, wow. I was like, damn, they're really pumping it out.
Yeah, no. It's been going for a year and 3 months now.
Okay.
But so the way comics work is like they're to meet the demand, they only print a certain amount, and then they send that off to comic shops and like, you know, places that sell, and then that's the first printing. And as soon as that sells out, then they go to the second printing. It usually has a different cover, but it's still the same issue, just with second printing. There has been so much demand for Absolute Batman that they're on reprint number 10 of the first issue.
Jesus. Because this is, I think when I was looking through it, there's 5 issues in here total, right? I believe when I looked through it.
Yeah. And that's only the first like segment.
Yeah, I'm sure this is not even the whole thing. So that's why I wasn't sure if we should do it for a podcast yet. Yeah, I'm not sure that's done to do it, but
and they actually had their finale of like the most recent arc, where it's Batman versus Bane, and they have this like basically anime fight in the middle of a football stadium.
What? Okay, that is an anime fight.
Batman drops a building on him. It's awesome.
Wait, it's absolute Batman. He literally looks like a mini Megazord. Like, he looks insane. He's like a tank.
Oh yeah, one of the questions people had when they first revealed how big Batman was like, what are they gonna do with Bane? And all Scott said was, he's going to be even bigger.
Yeah, he wasn't big enough. I mean, Batman right now would be the size of the old Bane.
and people who have seen what Absolute Bane looks like, y'all know.
I gotta see it. That I have not seen. Oh my god. Bane's always like the largest.
You'll get there. It's...
Wait, is he in this comic? Is he in here? I didn't get to read
I don't
it
think
yet.
he's in that one.
Oh, okay. I was like, ooh, is he in here?
The villain of that one is Black Mask.
I saw Absolute Joker. He looks fucking amazing. But
oh yeah. There's a couple variations of Joker, but
okay.
It's the same guy, but he has multiple forms.
And
yeah,
speaking of,
they're doing some fun stuff with that. Issue 15 is going to be about Joker, and we're going to get some revelations there that we haven't gotten in a year and 3 months of this. So
they're taking it slow, but I mean, I'm sure they'll do like a compendium at some point as well. Put it all together.
Yeah. There's going to be like an omnibus of like the first volume of this.
No, I'd be excited to read that.
But the like, so what is going on with that, and so many people getting into it and like selling out this book? That's what happened when this book dropped.
Okay.
Which is why so many Batman adaptations these days take elements from this. And
as they should, it's funny because even I'm a new reader maybe to comics overall, but obviously I know who he is. I grew up with so much of the animated media with Justice League and Batman the Animated Series, Brave and the Bold, all that, Batman Beyond. So like, it's not completely foreign to me, but even if it was someone who not only did not read comics but just barely even knew who Batman was, you could still pretty much jump into this. I mean, because it does go back into the history. Technically, like when we start with chapter 1 here, it is more in the middle. You see everyone there with Tim, Dick, and Damian. But it's like, as they go through the whole, like, generational wealth, generational trauma, then it's like, oh, you still get the background story, but in a way where, like, some of the older Batman movies would always start out with the parents being shot, right? So, like, here, it's like it harkens back to it, but it gives more of a deep lore that if you knew nothing about Batman, you would learn everything in just this one comic. Like, there's...
Absolutely.
Yeah, you get that whole story again, but not just where it's, like, this cheesy one-shot moment in the movie, and then it goes back to Batman. It's like he already is Batman, but you go back to the start as well. So I feel like you're getting past, present, and future here.
And we get that iconic scene, which have you seen the animated movie Mask of the Phantasm?
Ooh, no, I haven't.
Okay, that is something you're going to have to watch.
I'll watch it today. Don't mess with me. I'll watch that today because I am excited.
Honestly, I'd love to watch it with you. But
oh, okay. I mean, no, then we can plan a day. Where can I watch that on?
I'm probably HBO Max. I'm not
HBO
sure.
Max? Okay, I'll look on HBO Max.
They have all the WB stuff usually, but I don't know.
They do with Long Halloween's on there. Yes, I forgot.
It's also an old movie, so like I don't know. It was a movie. It was the first. It was the theatrical release movie for the animated series. So.
Oh, it was in the theaters?
Yeah.
Oh, that's so cool. Okay.
And it is in some circles considered to be the best Batman theatrical release of all time.
I can imagine watching that in the theaters. That would be so cool.
But there is a scene in this where they take one of the classic iconic Batman sequences that I don't know if it started in year 1, but I know it was in year 1.
Okay.
But they also have it in the they also have it in that cartoon.
Okay.
Actually, like I think it was from like really early in Batman's career. They just showed it.
They showed it again. Yeah, they showed it again in the cartoon.
But so, my fault. I didn't give you full context before going into this. But there is a scene in this that then is recontextualized in this, but it's an iconic Batman scene where it's Batman sitting in his armchair, in front of the fireplace, in front of the painting of his parents.
They show in the animated series too, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. And he's like, what do I do? Like,
it's like he's talking to them, like, because even no matter how long ago this happened, I mean, from what I've read here, I actually even Googled it because I was just getting so into the lore reading this, that they don't say it, but they believe his estimated age in Court of Owls is 32. And, you know, of course, his parents got shot when
I can see it.
Yeah, that's... I mean, that comes from Scott Snyder himself from when I Googled it. So,
It's all ages are...
They're estimating,
ages are real wonky.
yeah, because I think in Black Mirror, he was more like... Well, that's also Dick, and I think he was like 28 or something in that one. But, and that happened when he was 8 years old, you know, so, like, it's something where even in the animated series, and showing it again here, where, like, he almost looks to them for guidance, even though they had passed away so long ago, and it's like,
and then,
to him, they're still there.
As he's, like, talking to them, a bat just busts through the window, and, like, flies around the room for a second. He's like...
Omen.
Like,
good omen.
Like, that's my answer, essentially.
Yeah.
And that's when he decides to become Batman. And then this comic adds just a little bit more onto it.
Yeah. I mean, I am enjoying a lot of the illustrations here. So do we want to just jump right into it?
Yeah. I would. Yeah. It's gonna be a long one. So.
No, yeah, that's why I was like, let's jump right into it. And I think it's, you know, it's so funny because we thought the same with Black Mirror, and we're like, oh, we were even saying we might split this into 2 podcasts, and we did it in the one day. So, because Black Mirror, like, these seem long when you're holding it. Like, again, we were just talking about this literally before we went live of how thick this book is in general. And then
also, can I just say I love these compact editions. Like, these are...
Oh, same. I don't want to read... I'd rather read everything together. So...
Well, not even just that, but, like the fact that these are easy to get, they're cheap. Like, the panel... Or the page quality is not exactly, like...
This was $10. This big book.
Yeah. Yeah. And, like, this makes it easy to get, or accessible to more readers. It's nice and compact in this little... Like, it's smaller than a normal comic would be, but, like, you still get everything you need.
Right.
And honestly, I like this page quality better for the camera because there's not as much glare on it.
I was about to say, I was like, I can see everything on that page. And even talking about some of the page quality, because I think right before we went live, we were talking about the villains on that first page. So we could also go a bit into that, but I'll just start off right here, and then I'll let you talk on that first page of the villains because you probably recognize more of them than I do. Especially that New 52, they all there probably are people I recognize, but I just probably don't recognize their new look.
And some of these, this is the only time that they look like this.
Oh, okay, so this is because this is early New 52.
Yeah.
All right, so
remember how last episode I was like they're throwing stuff at the wall and seeing what sticks.
Yeah.
Welcome to the New 52.
Yeah, because I gotta say, as much as I love the illustrations here, and I'm gonna touch base on a lot of my favorite illustrations in today's podcast, but that first villain page is a little rough. I don't think it's one of my favorite, honestly.
We got a nice double page splash of a bunch of villains.
Right, and some of them look like just thugs. I mean, you can see, I believe that's Mr. Freeze in the corner. I'm pretty sure that's in the middle, the new version of Killer Croc, I'm assuming. He looks like the Thing now. They made him look like the Thing from Marvel. Of course, you see, they made him look much more grotesque, but is that Two-Face?
Yeah.
That is Two-Face,
that's also the only time he looks that grotesque.
Yeah, because that is like, Jesus, like the skin is still melting. It hasn't even finished healing. And then, who is that in the middle just kneeling down?
Scarecrow.
Is that supposed to be Scarecrow? Yeah, because I see like that knitted mask he always has, that knapsack. Okay. And then, besides Mr. Freeze, Killer Croc, Scarecrow, and Two-Face, is there anything else?
So...
Any other villains sticking out?
Opposite from Mr. Freeze is the Riddler.
Oh, duh! But here's the question marks on his do-rag. I didn't even see that. Oh my god, I did not notice that. I don't know
what the hell they were going for with that version of Riddler.
Do-rag Riddler.
Like that after that.
Gangster Riddler over here. The one that's
right behind him in what looks like skull face paint. Is literally the worst version I have ever seen of Black Mask.
Oh, the dude that was in Black Mirror?
No. He was in the Under the Red Hood movie.
Oh, Under the Red Hood. No, sorry, not Black Mirror. Under the Red Hood, yes. Oh yeah, no, and Under the Red Hood he looks much better than that. But Under the Red Hood is before New 52, right?
Yes.
Okay.
But also, they go back to his original look Like, this is the only time he looks like this.
Because Black Mask actually looked. I mean, even under the Red Hood,
this is the worst look of Black Mask I have ever seen.
Under the Red Hood, they had a they had a very strong Red Skull inspiration with Under the Red Hood with him.
So
very literal.
Black Mask's origin is literally he takes over his father's company after he dies. He goes he runs it into the ground because he's a terrible businessman and he's kind of a loser. And so in order to start making himself seem more intimidating, he carves a black skull mask out of his father's coffin. And starts to wear that and starts getting into the criminal business. And then he becomes like a gangster. And while in like a fight with Batman, he ends up getting chemicals and fire on his face, and it melts the mask onto his face.
That's what I thought, because it looks like such an actual human skull that I was like, his skin actually melted off, but the mask is so like welded on, or melded on is probably the better word, that it looks like it's literally his head. I couldn't even tell that was.
It's like the chemicals made it pliable and it melted onto his face. So like, that is basically his face now.
I was about to say, I was like, it literally. I mean, honestly, Under the Red Hood did such a good animation. It literally looked like his skin. I thought it was his skin. Like it was very hard to discern that. Wow, so that's him. That's such a shame.
Mask. Yeah. Aww. So, but thankfully, this is the only time he shows up like this. So.
And who is this prof person? It looks like the Penguin or something, but is it not?
That is who I mentioned last week as Professor Pig.
Oh, I thought he would look more intense though. He doesn't look as crazy.
Yeah, I mean, he's just a big guy with a pig mask.
Okay.
He's disfigured under the mask,
so that's
that's why he's obsessed with making everyone perfect.
And who's behind him and Mr. Freeze? He's like near the wall with him.
He's got red hair. That you can barely see.
Right.
Is a guy with pink hair and a pink mask.
Mm-hmm.
He was a Grant Morrison creation from
the pink mask.
from back when Morrison was writing Dick Batman. Called the Flamingo. And his whole thing is he's gay.
Oh, and that's his whole thing? That's his whole thing?
Everything he wears is pink.
Okay.
And he's very flamboyant.
So is he supposed to be kind of like in Black Mirror?
He doesn't really have superpowers.
So was he supposed to be like more like Black Mirror, where it was like a lot of the one-off criminals?
Yeah, he was one of those one-offs that just like, and occasionally they'll throw him into the background of like a villain shot like this, where it's like they gotta fill it in with villains. So let's. He's
a filler, literally. And
then you can barely see him behind Flamingo, but it's Clayface.
So yeah, we want to just start off with that page for you guys, just to show how some of the new villains look compared to what you're used to with Batman. These are the new 52 look for the villains. Oh, one of the villains in that page? Who?
Yeah, because he's so tiny up by Croc's hand.
Oh my god, I didn't even see that. He looks like he looks like Clayface a little bit.
It's supposed to be the ventriloquist in Scarface.
I actually loved him in the animated series. Scarface was crazy. Yeah, I really liked him.
But yeah, basically
Scarface
all of these designs. This is the only time they look like this. I'm pretty sure every single one of these villains gets a redesign the next time they show up.
I mean, honestly, out of all of them, if Mr. Freeze said that way, I wouldn't be too mad at it. It's not like horrid, not compared to the rest of them. Killer Croc, I think that that would just be copyright issue. He just looks too much. I literally turned this page when I first started reading this, and I was like, "Oh, it's the Thing." Like it was just too close for me that I was like, I don't have an issue with the way he looks.
His face is too boxy and square.
Yeah, like he looks like a rock, and like I understand he's a big like Croc, the mutation, but like, yeah, they need to make that more unique.
They needed to play a bit more with like the Croc features, which they do later on.
Okay, that's good, because even in Black Mirror, even when that kid turned into like a version of him, that opening illustration on like page 3 of Black Mirror looked amazing. So loving how really the different iterations of Killer Croc, because I only know him from the animated series. So,
but yeah, as as we're seeing all of these villains, Batman's giving one of his classic opening monologues.
Yes.
Where he's basically talking about how, like, oh, Gotham's all these different things that people say, damned, cursed, bedlam,
you can see it on
hopeless.
My thing too. Sorry, I was just showing.
Yeah.
I just want to show the readers here that as we go through, and if you decide to buy this, hopefully you do. It's absolutely, I think, even better than Black Mirror. As much as I like the illustrations in Black Mirror, this is better story even. And
I should start putting buy links in our descriptions.
Oh no, yeah, we could even, because we usually buy from Amazon ourselves, but I'm sure there's other like official comic websites that you all can go to, especially if you have a Forbidden Planet or Midtown Comics by you, or any I'm sure any comic store you have in your area. But you can see that they actually do it by chapters. Typically, in most comic books, for those of you that are more avid comic readers, you would notice that they normally will call it a volume, and they normally just do it where you almost don't even know when the new chapter starts. Like, even when I was reading Black Mirror, I had to really kind of be like, oh, is this a new chapter? Because sometimes what they do for a new chapter is that it's just a new illustration for the front page, and it's not really like how a book would be like chapter 1, chapter 2. It's usually not like that in comics. But in here, they made it more novel-like, so you could see that each of these chapters is very unique with that type of animation, and it will say like on the top, like chapter 1 being the knife trick. Or knife trick. So, and they will have those titles and typical chapter layouts. So I feel like it was easier to bookmark to kind of read through, and then how it connects to other chapters. So I actually kind of like that. Maybe I just prefer the graphic novel setup over a typical comic. but yes, as you were saying, I just want to give more of that intro of how this differs from like a typical comic book. But
and yeah, you're good. Basically Batman's just like, there's no place like home.
100%.
And so then he just starts beating the shit out of all these villains. And there's this like big like montage.
It's multiple spreads
out of everyone.
Multiple pages of this. And it's so funny because like there's so much of this beating going on that I really was paying attention more to the words than even the actual, because the back, it was almost like it was just like the ASMR in the background of people him just attacking people while you're really trying to get the gist of this opening story, because it's something where we're not going to go into all of it. There's a lot that he refers to, but it's just more, the opening is Gotham City asking what what Gotham is, right?
Also, another problem with New 52 is they start this story off with Batman already having a full Bat family.
Yes. So
he's only been Batman for 5 years.
Yeah, and that's why I didn't want to say that earlier, because I didn't want to sound more negative. I didn't want to sound more negative as much as I love Court of Owls, but you were saying with the New 52...
No, this is definitely like an issue that has...
Okay, because you were just saying in the opening of the podcast that they did New 52 to kind of bring the readers in. I would say that if someone didn't know Batman at all, this could be a little difficult, because there's a lot being thrown at you at once if you didn't have any history on who he was. But they do go to it eventually. It just doesn't start that way. Yeah.
It makes a lot of things confusing in terms of like the history, because they're basically saying that all of Batman's history up to this point has happened in 5 years, which means like he had Dick, and then Dick grew up and became Nightwing, and he had Jason, and Jason died, and we got Tim. Literally, Red Hood is in the end of this comic, so we've already had Under the Red Hood
in 5 years. I also didn't think because when he's calling the Bat family, he helps them, so that means Jason's already good from after Under the Red Hood, or joining back with them.
We already have Damian.
That was my most of... I let go Dick and Tim, but when I saw Damian, I was like, wait, he's only been Batman for 5 years. Damian's a little too early.
And the reason I'm bringing this up is in this monologue, he's talking about like how he's been Batman for a bit, even though it's not. And he's saying like he's seen a few Mr. Freezes, 2 Black Masks, and like old villains and new villains. And when it says new, it shows James from Black Mirror.
Okay, so that's where I'm looking. Where is he at? Can you put that up there?
Right here.
Oh, he's being held by the big... Oh, shit, that is him. That's the hair.
Yeah.
And the glasses and everything.
The hair and the glasses.
He's probably reading Black Mirror. That would be a funny callback. That would be funny.
He's talking about having been Batman but he hasn't been Batman for that long.
He makes it seem like he knows all these villains like the back of his hand already. Like he's been doing this for 20 years.
And that I think that was one of the only few missteps of this whole thing. And I think it's because I don't think it was a Snyder decision. I think if it was up to Snyder, he would have been Batman for a decent amount of time.
At least
the problem being, since they're restarting this whole universe, they have to make it where Batman, since he sells the most, is the first superhero. And shortly afterwards, we start getting Superman and Wonder Woman and all of the Justice League. They assembled the Justice League in the first year of the New 52.
Wow. That's so fast, though.
And and the first time they all meet up, they're fighting Darkseid. And it's like...
And Darkseid's usually like the worst villain to go against.
It's like we're throwing everything here just to.
Jesus.
They were playing a catch up job because they were like, oh well, we need to do this new universe to get new people on board, but at the same time we want to have our cake and eat it too. We want to still have all of these titles like Justice League and like have this history here. It's like, well, if you want the history, then why did you revamp the universe? This is the problem with the new. This is what a lot of people go like. This is one of the prevailing problems.
I think it's always better to be slow and steady because I think a lot of readers would not have cared too much if it was a bit of a slower release if they got more background and to get used to them. Especially that it's new looks. You are retconning a lot of the, I guess not only just general villain stories but also some of the hero origins. So. It's something where I think the slow would have been best because I didn't know it was that much so quickly. I just know, I already know who Dick, Tim, and Damien are. But again, like for a new reader, I was like, okay, this could be a lot at once. But I think for me, I guess I just didn't notice it because I already know some of their backgrounds. I'm watching Under the Red Hood before we did the podcast today. So it's no Jason as well. Because, if I didn't watch Under the Red Hood before the podcast today, I would not have even known what Jason was doing there. Or that was Jason. So,
it's like, there's so... Like, I don't think this was a Snyder decision because Snyder doesn't write like that.
Yeah.
Like, I think that was an editorial decision of, like, Batman can only have been active for 5 years before this.
Yeah.
And he had to... I feel like he had some of this already written, like, as if it was a Batman who had been active for a while.
Right.
And then once that editorial decision came down... Like he had to kind of work around it, and it's a little janky because of how that just kind of got thrown in there.
Right.
But at the same time, it's like he makes up for it in the quality of the overall story and what he ends up doing later on with it.
I agree. I also feel that
that's why it's a New 52 issue and not a this book issue.
Oh, okay.
If that makes sense.
Oh no, that definitely makes sense here. It's just it can be a lot at once, but I did feel it was still very easy to read. And again, as they have these more of a few pages where they're fighting here, it's just really keeping in mind because they harken back to this, especially in the later chapters. In this first chapter, really what Gotham is. They say that if it's just if it's malice, if it's crime, because of all the villains in the city, a lot of the death, Gotham literally being death, and then of course some where they name certain villains where they showing Two-Face like two sides of the same coin, or if they're saying that it's Killer Croc because it's showing more of like that instinctual side of it, and then of course some that refer to Batman, which I like here because I think you could even see before Bruce even says anything about how long he's been Batman. It's something where you could feel it because if you've watched the animated series, if you've seen these movies where he is much more cynical and very like, just you can't even read him. He barely shows emotion, and here's some of the emotion, some of like. I guess comedic moments. He's still younger here. He doesn't seem too cynical yet, I guess is the best way for me to put it. I don't feel he's so like still on that pessimistic side just yet. And so
that's one thing I like about Snyder's Batman whenever he writes him. He never feels like he's that like super old jaded post-crisis Batman.
Yeah.
Like he has a bit of fun with him. Yes. And like he makes Batman feel like a human.
No, I mean,
I like when Batman can crack a one-liner every now and
then.
That
honestly, I think that you just were the absolute best. I can't say any more perfect than that. Where it's just he feels more humanized, because I think it's something where you've always known him as he's brooding. Brooding is a great word for him. That's just how he is, the cape and cowl, and that he's watching over.
And don't get us wrong, he is still that.
Oh no, very much so. He's still very much Bruce. I mean, seeing that difference with Black Mirror with Dick's Batman compared to Bruce's, of course, you definitely see that difference. But just for anyone reading, keep in mind that Gotham it comes back to that many times here. And and then, whether it's Batman, whether it's the villains, and then we see
as he's getting his ass kicked,
yes,
all of these villains.
Yes.
I guess Harley shows up at some point.
Yeah, I saw that.
And
too.
I don't know who the big guy is. Genuinely,
he looks like a Yakuza member or something.
Yeah. But one thing I love that Capullo does, not only in this book, but anytime this character shows up, he does this amazing thing where in the shadows, all you can see is 2 dots for eyes and a giant smile.
Yeah,
and it is terrifying. And I let me see if I can. It doesn't really show up too well.
Oh no, I see it there. Yep.
But
well, you're showing it up there, yeah, but
yeah, like that when he's just in the shadow, and just any time a character is in full shadow and all you can see is 2 dots for eyes, I feel like that's scarier than if you can see more of them.
Oh no, yeah, but no, I mean that's actually perfect. I mean, I think that's part of the animated series and even in the comics that we've been reading so far, where that's where I think when we know Batman as someone who's ever playing the video games, watching the show, reading it as a reader, we're seeing him as a superhero. We know he's going to save them. We know he's going to stop the villains. But if you put yourself in the villain's shoes, imagine this person, and Batman's a tall, buff dude. He's big. And he's in this cape and cowl, and many times when he's coming at you, it's not even on the ground. He's flying at an angle at you with his... When he has his cape fully out, he looks like a bat. And, it's supposed to show... I like how there's many shots, even in this comic, too, where it also shows only his... Actually, in that same page in the top right corner, it shows Batman's eyes like that, where a lot of times, I'm sure most villains only see that part where it's just his eyes and they don't see any other part of his body. It's just him in the darkness. Batman himself is a terrifying character to look at.
Capullo does an incredible job because he did Spawn. So there's a lot of characters in Spawn where they are fully cloaked in shadow, and you can only see
they're demonic. Yeah, he brings.
You see that a lot with Batman. Mm-hmm. Like even just in this cover image, Batman is mostly you cannot see a lot of his face.
Yeah, and it's supposed to be purposely like that, and I like that because it makes him more like he literally is the shadows.
Yeah,
but just like a Batman.
I love Capullo's use of shadow.
My God, the lighting is so good. It really is. God.
There's multiple times later on when we get to the comics of Joker Endgame or Death of the Family, where they show off his Capullo does this with Joker quite a bit, and every time it's freaky.
Okay, yeah, that's why I was like, ooh, this is I just love how even it's so funny because I know you're mentioning with our background here and we see Joker popping out, but I think even before noticing that top right is what I noticed first with just Batman's eyes, and I was like, this contrast with him. I think it's one of my favorite stories, and I think that's just me too. As a reader, I just whether it's gaming or reading novels, I just prefer darker stories, and it's so easy to gravitate towards Batman because of how dark his lore is and his villains.
And
yes.
we see Joker show up.
Yes.
And again, this is another character where he only looks like this in this issue.
I mean, honestly, I don't mind it because it really provides that maniacal look to him, which he should be. I think in the animated series we got used to that softer paint for Joker. He looks a bit more going crazy, like how Heath Ledger's look was in Dark Knight.
Yeah, you can definitely tell there's a lot of Heath Ledger influence.
Yes.
I'm seeing if I can grab one of my other comics because
yes,
I have one that actually shows what he looks like later on in this. Here it is. Yep. This is what he looks like for the rest of the series.
Oh, okay. Oh, he's more like Jared Leto though. No, in that way, kind of.
Kind of, but before Jared Leto was a thing.
Oh, okay, okay. So that came out first. Okay. So
Yes.
maybe the inspiration for him came from that. Okay.
Yeah, definitely.
He looks a lot more like that version. Yeah.
I think that's what they were going for with Jared Leto's version, but they did not stick that landing at all.
No, no, they did not. Definitely the worst one. But yeah, so Joker comes out.
But yeah, you can see this version very, very heavily inspired by Heath Ledger's version, where he's got like the splits on the mouth and the heavy makeup.
But I just love it though because how it looks like truly like painful, like that permanent smile that's carved in there, and you can see where, and then in the next scene he's like, "Let's cut to the punchline," and actually helping him. So you're like, what the fuck? Like, there's all these villains, and Joker comes out to help him.
Joker has done this before.
Oh yeah, but you know that's not surprising. Even if you're a reader,
usually the logic is no one can kill him but me.
Yeah, that is so typical in so many like animated series where they're like, this villain is mine and I'm the only one that kills him. You see like even with Frieza and Goku and Dragon Ball Z and stuff, like the same thing. And you know,
so he starts helping Batman beat the shit out of all of these like insane villains that are just all over the place.
And they're like, "You turncoat piece of shit!" Like they're like cursing out Joker. They're like, "What the fuck? Like, why are you helping him?" And then, you know, it's like, I like when they harken back again to the Gotham is where, you know, where Bruce even makes the little joke. He goes, "I'm more partial to that," which he almost never makes like little clips like that. But so I thought that was funny. And then he's like, you know, that they're saying it is Batman City or it is Batman. And then yeah, so that's the opening there where you really want to get the gist of what Gotham is and really keeping that in mind. So I'm glad that they spent that first few pages really kind of like the different versions of whether it's death or the villains or whether it's more positive, whether it is Batman or Hope. And now we go more to, you know, with Commissioner Gordon here. Let me make sure.
And we see Gordon's new look, which is pretty classic.
I actually love it. I don't know what it is. I don't know how old he is here, but he has this younger flair to him, and I actually
they made
love
him
this.
younger.
They did, right? But it's also like even it probably shows better when you show because I think my ring light is a little bright. But there, so this part right here, I love that look, the smirk he has. It's very like, I mean, Commissioner Gordon has always been an amazing detective. That's how he's always been shown. He's one of the best in the police force, and that's why Batman even trusts him. Probably the only one that could be someone on Batman's level, if ever. And, you know, it's like, here he actually is showing more like a
also
smugness.
Giving him the red hair.
Yeah, of course. And so younger there as well with the red hair. But I've never seen Commissioner Gordon so smug, and he normally is never that type to give that smug look, and I love that specific panel of him. That looks just so well done.
Absolutely. And the fact that like they are actually showing that he has red hair because in post crisis, like I'm sure you can go back and like, see early,
of course, yeah,
early Jim, but like he's got white hair and Barbara Senior has black hair,
yes,
and then Barbara Junior has bright red hair, and it's like
to make it more like Commissioner Gordon, yeah.
So,
but still, I know what you mean, yeah.
It's nice having that connection, where it's like, oh, he has red hair, she has red hair. It
just makes sense. It makes sense, yeah. Right, like making some connection there.
And his is lighter because he's getting older, but like,
yeah, and
you will not believe what happens to this version of Commissioner Gordon in the New 52.
I don't even want to know because I'm loving this panel.
No, it's good.
Oh, it's good. Okay, because I actually really like this. Oh God. Honestly, if anyone's gonna do it, I could see it. Right? Like, I mean, he's just typically much older, but here they look like
it's a wild story.
They look more closer to the same age here. So yeah, you know, they talk about like how the villains even broke out. It's just, you know, who let them loose. He mentions a guy named Dan Matthews. And that's something where...
We get into a bunch of these, once again, one-off names where it's just like...
Oh, yeah, he's not mentioned in the rest of the comic. It's just like... This was literally just to, you know, for the first few pages to give you a background of, you know, because why did these villains randomly break out? So basically, to save himself, he let... he turned off the security and all their jail cells open. So that's why he's fighting all of them at once. So this is in Arkham. And he did that to save himself because Batman was already hot on his trail. And then, you know, that's when we get that lovely panel there where Commissioner Gordon is telling him about Dan Matthews, and then he goes, you know, for a second there, I think I heard that Joker was fighting alongside you. he's like, no. He goes, it must have been the trick of the light. Like, again, like one of these little like where
Like, tell me that'd be ridiculous.
Yeah,
that'd be ridiculous, Jim.
And it's just something where like in the animated series he would never say something like it's the trick of the light, and it's just so good here seeing these little clips from Bruce. So now coming back to the Batcave, where
and we get this again gorgeous full like double page splash.
Oh my god! Right? Like there's gonna be a few moments where I'm gonna really gush in the illustrations here. Like Greg Capullo gave Jock and Francesco Francavilla a run for their money for sure. As great as Black Mirror was with the illustration. And I will, and again, for those of you, where we mentioned in the previous podcast that reading Black Mirror first, and thank you, Wolvy, for putting in that order. Even DeCoulis told me, this was in between the podcast, I think just a few days ago we were talking, and he's like, it's good that you had you read Black Mirror first, because a lot of that comes back in Court of Owls. And
yeah, and you can tell that Scott Snyder had a lot of ideas that he wanted to implement. And then as soon as the universe ended and they put him on the reboot, he's like, well, I'll just carry
why not reuse it? Yeah, well, why not? I mean, and some of it made real good sense, and we see here that, because we're like, why is the Joker helping Batman? It turns out to be our lovely Dick Grayson, our Nightwing. However,
using the mask,
smart mask, yes, and it's from Black Mirror.
Using the mask from Black Mirror.
Yes,
which also I love the fact that like Bruce goes to sit down, and then Joker's just behind them going, "You do actually practice brooding."
I like that even after they're in the sewers, Dick is like, I'm gonna play this until I have to take the mask off. He's still in character. And then one of my favorite, again, like in just 3 pages in a row of getting all these Batman clips that you don't expect from Bruce, where, it's so funny. Where did he say it here? Oh, when he was asking like, how did I do as like, a maniacal villain? He goes, yeah, as a matter of fact, you were. It was absolutely perfect. It's just like little things like that where I think with Dick he feels more comfortable.
How'd I do as him?
Yes.
Are you asking me if you were convincing as a homicidal maniac, Dick? I suppose I am. Then yes, as a matter of fact, you were.
No, he did. I mean, in those previous pages, you would not have clocked it, and if you didn't read Black Mirror, you wouldn't even know, because typically, like, I'm rewatching the animated series now from the 90s, and he does have his whole, like, it's crazy how he just had his case of just, like, wigs and masks and stuff, and how he looks so much like the people, like, the way he fooled them was crazy. But
that's what I'm saying, like, Batman's a master of disguise, and it doesn't really get adapted too much, but when he does, like...
It's so good! And then, yeah, if you didn't read Black Mirror, you didn't know about this smart mask, you'll be like, oh, that has to be the real Joker. So, seeing this, some of those little things here where it's like, okay, that can't be him. And it wasn't, so now they're on their way to a banquet.
And then we run into, again, the problem with the timeline of the New 52, where we see Dick, Tim, and Damian all standing next to each other, and they all look young as fuck.
Very good. I mean, and I don't think I've ever seen an older Damian. I think even in the animated series, he's just always been that little boy.
No, he looks fine. It's Dick and Tim that look like 1 or 2 years older than him is the problem. Like,
yeah, because even in Black Mirror, when Dick is Batman, like, the Tim Drake that's fighting alongside him as Red Robin looks much older in Black Mirror as well.
Because at this point, Dick is Nightwing, and Tim is Red Robin leading the Teen Titans.
Like, if Dick was still Robin, this would have worked, but the fact that he's already Nightwing, it's too far ahead. And it's just something where you're also, and I could understand if, maybe it could have worked as Dick as Nightwing if Jason was still Robin. But the fact that Under the Red Hood already happened, and he's already helping them, he's not, like, Under the Red Hood, he was bad. So, like, and then you also have Tim Drake, which doesn't come so much later. It's like, what the hell's happening? So,
it's like you could have gotten away with Tim being Robin, I think,
right?
Because Dick shows up in post-crisis continuity. Dick shows up year 2. They have a few good years. The whole split off happens where Dick then goes to lead the Titans. Batman gets a new Robin in Jason. Jason only lasts for, I think, a year or just under a year.
Yeah, because that's why when we did our previous podcast, I had to ask you about him, because I'm like, when did this happen? But yeah, it was a short time.
And so when Jason dies,
yes,
Batman kind of spirals for a bit.
That's where Tim comes in.
It starts to get more brutal. And then Tim shows up, having already deduced his identity, because Tim is the smartest of the Bat family. and becomes his Robin to bring him out of that dark place. So like you could say like, oh, in 5 years, if Tim is Robin, that is justifiable
That
in
makes
that
sense.
time frame. The fact that we're already on Damian, like,
If they would have kept just Tim
they
and Dick,
look so young.
yeah, I mean, because even when they show Nightwing in the animated series, he's much older. He's like in his 30s at least. So like it's just yeah. I mean, that's why I had to Google even how old was Bruce. I think it made me question it, and he is 32. But even so, it's like okay. I mean, they all look like that. They literally are within 2 years of each other in these three
And
here.
thankfully, as the New 52 goes on, they kind of push that under the rug and just start making them look as old as they should be.
So you know,
so like,
no,
yeah.
No, yeah, no, definitely fully understand with that because it's something with where I was a little confused and I was like, oh, they're all here. I mean, I know who they all are, so I guess I didn't second guess it too much.
You can
but,
feel the growing pains of the New 52.
Yeah,
like just all over this, and it's like
even as a reader, I felt a little rushed in this first chapter. Luckily, the other chapters don't continue in that type of speed. It's just in this first one, I was like, oh, did I miss something? Like maybe like. I did think to myself reading this first chapter, like, was there another issue I should have read before this? Because I feel like I'm missing some context. But I think it was just them rushing it. I think so. If you guys feel that way, please stick with it. Trust me, it's literally just chapter 1. I don't know what's happening here at the banquet
like,
and all that.
I'm pretty sure Snyder would have just been happy picking up where Morrison left off.
Yeah.
And that's basically what he did for Black Mirror. But like and the thing that like the thing that makes me especially say that this is a like editorial problem and not a Snyder problem is because we have seen what Snyder does when given alternate universes where he can just go from scratch. There was an alternate future thing that he did with called The Last Night on Earth, night being like Dark Knight. Like that was a whole thing where he was just able to go from scratch and build it in a way that is believable. Same thing we're seeing right now with Absolute Batman, where he is just building this from the ground up, and it's all like it all meshes with the timelines. It's all really like it. You can tell it's not him because he is a great writer, but there's so much editorial pressure and restriction here of like you have to make this fit into the universe and into the universe timeline that it's like we get these issues of like, oh, this is not like no. And I think one of the we're not immediate next, but one of the next like New 52 Batman comics I want to cover with you is Death of the Family.
Oh yeah, actually, even at the end of this one, they do have some good recommendations. I was actually going to even ask you about a few of them because I was looking at well, I've seen the Long Halloween movie. There was a few of them. Death of the Family was one of them that it showed. But then there was another one. Oh, here we go. I was looking at...
Oh, there's Last Night on Earth. That was the one I was talking about.
Last Night on Earth, that was the one I was looking at. Yes, because that's right under Black Mirror. The Metal one, I think the coolest I mentioned to me as well, but I'm more interested in Last Night on Earth and Hush. I do want to...
Metal is a universe-wide event that we will cover eventually, but it's definitely not the first event you want to jump into.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, so we're getting back to the banquet here. So now that, Bruce goes straight from the Batcave. This is his typical life. I honestly was making this joke, I think, in the podcast 2 weeks ago, where when does this guy actually sleep? Because if you're doing Bruce and Batman, like, you're not even sleeping during the day to go out at night. Like, it is literally 24/7. So he goes straight from fighting all these villains, literally all of them, Arkham, talking to Commissioner Gordon, and then straight to this banquet after he talks with Dick and he takes off the mask and they're going to the this charity event together with Tim and Damian as well. So it's basically, to give more of a summary there, he's basically just trying to revamp Gotham City. He's basically giving a presentation of what the city can be, and all these questions, again going back to the beginning of what Gotham is, that it doesn't matter. Like, he talks about his parents, and yes, where he talks about his parents and how dark it got for him. He gets really humanized here, where how he truly felt in those dark times when he was extremely depressed. He thought the worst, very pessimistic, and then it was something of looking to the future, and that's what saved him. And it's something where it's like, he goes, I keep seeing this Gotham is in the newspapers, and I see a lot of people answering it, but what I'm trying to say here is that what it presently is doesn't matter. It's the future and what it will be. And then this is when he shows the hologram, which actually was really nice how they did the hologram of the city on that page as well.
Yeah, and
with him being so smug, again, you don't see smug Bruce that often, and look how smug he looks there. Like, I almost want to smack him. He looks like such an asshole there. But
I mean, that is what he's trying to do.
That is what he's trying to be. He's the philanthropist,
he's
right?
trying to make this personality of like, oh, you are a rich, above it all asshole.
Yes,
he's doing good things for the city, and like
right.
people need to be on the good side of to like get funding and stuff. But like, this is a rich, affluent, just like over everyone else's heads kind of like personality that like he is doing on purpose.
So I did want to ask here, because right after he does the speech, everyone claps. They're loving it. He's like, there's going to be like almost like 4 or 5 of these new towers in the city. It's a huge revamp, like a whole new section. Like if you're thinking of, I kind of just think of Gotham City like New York City, where it's different boroughs, and it's like he's creating a new borough basically. So, and then Alfred makes the quip, which I actually want to ask you, Wolvy, just because it made me think of with Black Mirror. The whole story of Black Mirror with Dick as Batman is because Bruce Wayne is back. They thought he died, but now he's doing his Batman Incorporated to have Batman all around the world. And Alfred makes the joke of like, he goes, you did fail to mention the myriad of new bat bunkers you'll be building throughout the city. And then Bruce is like, oh, did I? I guess I'll mention in the next presentation. And I'm assuming, I was like, is that like kind of trying, because I know this is New 52, like harkening back to that he might do the Batman Incorporated here too?
Not necessarily. That was more just him going, he has, so it's mentioned in the Arkham games as well, but
cool.
He has has just a bunch of mini bat caves everywhere, so that whenever he can't get to one or needs something from one or another, he can just go to one and like craft something or get whatever he needs or look up something on the mini bat computer, and like just to have like hideouts throughout the city that he can just get to quickly, rather than having to go all the way back to Wayne Manor every single time.
Oh, okay. And we do see that even more towards like one of the later chapters, how many entrances there actually is for him to get back to his house. I didn't even know there was that many. I was like, damn. Okay. It made me think of Black Mirror with the Batman Incorporated.
Like if you think about Gotham as like New York, which it's not supposed to be, but like if you think about it as like New York,
right?
Wayne Manor is like on the edge going upstate.
Oh yeah, because he's like literally his manor, and I think the Wayne Tower just hovers over the entire city.
Yeah, like Wayne Manor is far enough away for it to be like secluded. A hassle to go back and forth. So
right. I'm sure he's like almost a bit secluded, which he would want to be as Batman, but at the same time, it's probably like a pain in the ass.
Yeah, which was a thing that I liked about this movie is the fact that they turned Wayne Tower, like the penthouse is Wayne Manor, not just like not the mansion on the hill. It's like more modernized.
No, 100%. No, absolutely agreed. So and. Yeah, for anyone watching, don't worry. We're spending a bit more time on chapters 1 and 2 because there's just a lot of background before.
There's so much work.
Because I will say that even when I first read it, when I started reading, I actually the first day I only read chapters 1 and 2, and then I took a break and came back the next day. But then the next day I did chapters 3 through 8, I did like 5 of them so quickly. So it's just really getting the slower and understanding it, and then
it has to build all the layers for it to then create the mystery.
Exactly. So so you're getting all this background, and then there's going to be a chapter where, for those of you that start reading, and even where I read it, where I was like, ooh, this is picking up very quickly. And then you start flying through it because it's like shit hits the fan real hard. But
I think even on my reread, I was like, wow, this is a
intense.
A little bit of a slog early on. Like, are we going to be able to do all this? And then as I kept going, I was like, oh yeah, never mind.
Yeah, I thought the same thing, and I'm like, okay, like we'll probably spend like a good long time in these first 2 chapters, and after that, I think we're gonna like kind of almost fly through it because it's easy to summarize a lot of what's happening. It's just in the beginning we do want to be more direct with a lot of you on how this is being portrayed, because there's so much in these first 2 chapters that you need to remember even by chapter 11. So you just want to keep a lot of this in mind. The banquet, what Gotham is, of course.
We meet
Lincoln March.
Who is running for mayor. Who of course, anytime anyone is running for mayor of Gotham City, they have to get on the good side of Bruce Wayne.
Of course.
It's like
Of course.
we've seen this time and time again. And almost every single time someone does it, they become a villain. So, but
Yes, every single time. Every single time. It's like
they either become a villain or they die.
It's like oh my god, what was I just thinking? Oh, Harry Potter. Every time that someone becomes a Defense of the Dark Arts teacher, they're the fucking villain. It's like stop going.
In this movie, like,
yeah, like
the mayor to be is like, hey Bruce, I gotta get on your good side.
Yeah, I will say here that so I had even as far as early on, which of course we find out more about Lincoln March later, but even here I was already like I don't trust him. Something is a little off. Maybe it's just the way they drew him, and if that is the way that they drew him, Greg Capullo did a great job of having that bit of a devious look on Lincoln March's face. I didn't, although the words make you want to trust him, the illustration makes you think otherwise, and I kind of like that contrast between writer and illustrator.
I didn't get that as much.
Okay,
when
I immediately was like, I don't know if I trust this guy. I didn't think he was a villain. I just think it was like he was hiding something.
Like you can see him.
Troy, hello.
Next to oh, hey, Troy.
How's it going?
Like, you can see him next to Bruce down here. Like I got like he has this like bright-eyed personality.
Yes.
But he's also massive, so I think that might be the disconnect where it's like
Batman's a big dude himself, so this dude is like even taller. But I think I may be referring more to the first part here, this first page where he is a bit of a smirk. I think that there's something behind the smile, and even though with the words, it's as you read more about Lincoln March, you're like, okay, he is more genuine. But I like this contrast.
Also, it's a brand new important character being introduced in Batman comics, so there's going to be a twist at some point.
Yeah, and it's just for me where I don't think I've ever seen before where there's usually the illustrator and writer are more on point together to illustrate what the writer is putting there. And this could have been on purpose between Snyder and Capullo, but like I felt like the illustration of how he looked like made me doubt him more than anything that he said, and where the illustrator and the writer kind of like were contrasting each other. But I'm sure it was purposely.
So, just a question as you read this stuff:
mm-hmm.
Do you assign voices in your head to the characters?
Oh yeah, I mean, even though I don't know who Lincoln March, how he would sound like, I've never seen him in an animated series. Yeah, just to make it differentiates it in your mind, and we all know how Bruce sounds like. We've seen so many versions of him.
So I have this. I know other people do it, but I don't know how common it is.
Right.
I will literally cast out these like, and I'll do it without even realizing it. But I will literally like in my brain cast the book. So I'm hearing that voice while I'm reading.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was like, what do you mean by okay? Literally casting, like giving them a person's voice to it. Okay.
Yeah, and so like, it might have just been because I, like, really got into the Batman Telltale games when those came out.
Right.
But and so Harvey Dent in there is played by Travis Willingham, and he's basically doing the exact same thing of like, I'm running for mayor, and hey, Bruce, you're my friend. And so the entire time with Lincoln March, he sounds like Travis Willingham to me.
Oh, okay. I mean, I kind of just put that more like car salesman type of voice to him because he just has that smile. He is trying to get Bruce's vote. Oh, and Troy, no, thank you for joining. And then the podcast is going great. We're just trying to spend a bit more time on this opening sequence, and then we'll get through the rest a little faster.
Yeah, there's a lot of foundation to lay.
Right. So yeah, especially with the first 3 chapters until it really gets into the Court of Owls. I said playing Stadium and pulling your hair out because, because your Stadium is competitive, so I understand that.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we meet Lincoln March. So for me, that was just my first thing of him where I believed it for the most part. I didn't doubt him too much. It was a small doubt just because of the smirk and everything, and also if he immediately is only asking for the vote because Bruce is under the assumption like, do you want money? I'm not going to give it to you. If you want me to do a public endorsement, that's not going to happen. And he's like, I don't want any of that. I just want the vote. And then as he's trying to talk to him, Bruce, he's never just him. He has the scanner in his eye. He's got a mic in his ear.
He's never not Batman.
Yeah, he's never not Batman. So that's why as you read, I do love that in blue. It's showing what the scanner is telling him, like the robotic voice. So I'm reading it as like a Siri voice. It's robotic, like reading to him of like who Lincoln March is, mayoral candidate. They even give you a little scan of Tim, Dick, and Damien in the beginning. So now he gets a call from I believe. So in here, I was a little confused. Is Gordon talking to him, or is he listening to whoever Gordon is talking to?
He's reading the lips of Gordon as he's on the phone.
Okay, yeah, because while Lincoln March is trying to set up a lunch or breakfast date with him, he pretty much has to run out because I think something.
Yeah, he glances over to Gordon, who's in the corner on his phone,
Right.
and Bruce is like, activate lip read. So,
Yes, he did go via lip read activation, and then they don't really show anything. Oh no! Okay, then and then the next one. The robot's actually reading it to not the robot voice. The AI voice is reading it to him. Give me 10 minutes to escape from the planet. Oh my god. Oh yeah, and then they made the joke the planet of the crepes, and the guy didn't even know what a crepe is. Who doesn't know what a crepe is? I thought most people knew what that was. So then, of course, like in the middle of Lincoln March trying to set up that he's like breakfast, lunch, dinner, we'll do whatever. Like he's trying to get Bruce before he leaves, and classic Batman, he just leaves in the middle of this conversation. And Lincoln March is like, "I need to get some air."
And Bruce is just like, set it up with Alfred.
So I actually almost put this in our promo because I actually found this as a still image. But this, I love that illustration there.
Oh yeah, it's beautiful.
Yeah, we just didn't have enough space on there, but I would have put it in the promo if I had a little bit extra space. So here he goes. We like to, we see Bullock. I will say Bullock remains largely the same.
Oh, and the reason he's leaving is because on the phone they reveal that someone has been murdered. So.
Yes, and then he was listening to Gordon's conversation. Yes. So, sorry. Yeah, my apologies if I skipped that. But he goes to meet Harvey Bullock. Honestly,
Harvey always looks the same.
And honestly, I love this look more because Harvey, even in the original animated series, when we see him in Black Mirror, he's always this person that's like, just thinks Batman is just a vigilante, that he thinks Commissioner Gordon lets him get away with too much. He doesn't agree with it. Here, he seems a bit more receptive to him, but I do like that look-wise is more like what I would think Bullock would look like than even his original iteration.
I mean,
they did such a good job of his animation here. Illustration.
Yeah, it's basically just like. It's the version from the animated series, but drawn in Capullo style. Like,
yeah, no, I actually love how they did Bullock here. So
I think the wildest change to Bullock I've ever seen was literally just his live action variations.
Yes.
So like in the Dark Knight movies, he looks a little more like sleazy, and then in the TV show Gotham, he's played by Donald Logue, who has more of a like he has like a beard and longer hair. And,
yeah,
like
which I just like him this way. I can't see Bullock in the other way. I just can't see him in the other way. And so we come to this body that now is murdered, which is why Batman came there in the first place to meet him. And it shows a great illustration of it, even just from where it's a bit zoomed out, not too up close, where he has stab wounds all over his body and the daggers are still in there. So kind of like if you guys have seen like Desperado with Danny Trejo and like he has a throwing knives, it's throwing knives like little daggers. Yeah, that would happen.
Bro's a pincushion.
Oh yeah, literally. I mean, I think it's almost about if they say like 50 of them. So they introduced this man as Sam Striggs, but is considered a John Doe because there is no actual real records of him. That was a made up name. They can't find anything on this guy at all. Like all his public and private life was erased. So that's
all the antique throwing knives have little owls on them.
The owl insignia. And this is where I won't go on it too much because I don't want to take up too much of everyone's time, but I do love each of these sections. We're going to see it multiple times. This is the first time in this comic where we really see Batman's detective skills. It's one of the favorite parts of even reading of Batman, is when he's really deducing what's happening. He could see the owl insignia, him mentioning the Mercury and the daggers for steady or flight, so you could throw it straight so they don't have an arc. So almost like kind of like throwing a bullet. When he's sniffing and he's like, let me get your cigar for a second, and he could smell, I think he mentions what it is. Oh, linseed oil, where it's basically to spell something in the air, where he basically spelled with linseed oil and he had to burn it with the cigar to read it in fire.
Which it was funny watching this or reading this because I've been watching there's a fairly popular like woodworking YouTuber that makes like shorts. And he uses linseed oil a lot. So,
oh, really?
I was like, oh.
I just love. I don't know why I love the. I was even laughing at this little animation corner where he's like sniff sniff. I guess like it's the only way you would actually like. I guess illustrate like someone smelling something. I can't imagine Batman doing that. So it was just funny, like he was a dog. I just thought.
And
that
then
was funny.
he takes Bullock's cigar and puts it to the wall.
Yes.
And it lights up.
And then show that there. Yeah, that is Bruce Wayne will die tomorrow. And actually before that, which is more important because it's going to go to the next page, he did take the skin under the fingernails of the victim because we're going to get the reveal of that too.
Oh yeah, there was some sort of DNA under the fingernails that he scraped off and he sent to Alfred to scan.
Yep.
And
that ended up being...
comes back as Dick.
Yeah, you can put it up. So I do like how this first chapter, there's a lot in that first chapter, and it ends on like, oh shit, and Dick was just with him. So we will find out more about that, but even at this point, like, whether you know what's going to happen or not, I still think it's exciting because even if all of that's true, it's like, oh, this might be like where he actually has to come against Dick for something, or if Dick is hiding something from Bruce, which I think out of all his people, and he mentions it later in this comic as well, just how he's his most trusted, even between like Damian and Tim. Like Dick,
it's just like why did he show up here?
Right, like why even show up here? And I do like that Bruce did not immediately jump down his throat. He didn't immediately jump to the conclusion of like he murdered this person. Like he was much and let's look at the evidence.
And he talks about it in a bit where like the first thing he does is like just double check where Dick was. Like
yeah, and as a detective should, like I'd not immediately jump down his throat. Let's look at all the security cameras. Let's look where he was. So now we get into chapter 2, the trust fall, which now looking back, I know the chapters, but I didn't remember all the names of each chapter. And now looking at trust fall and how this opens, it's actually kind of funny. Because literally the whole thing is him fighting, like falling from like God knows 1,000 feet in the air. So literally a trust fall. Yeah. I didn't even like think about that. I was like, oh, it's called trust fall. That's funny. So yeah, we get.
Okay, there.
No,
it's not wrong. So I was thinking it gets like contradicted later on when we see what actually happens, but no, because so not to spoil too much.
No, of course.
He falls out of here, and I thought he fell with the guy, but no, the guy jumps out after him. So like this is.
Oh no, he meant to attack him. Yeah, no.
Yeah,
but I will say,
moment, I was like, wait, where is the other guy? I was like, no, he jumped down afterwards.
So a name real quick that leads into that, which is the name of Alan Wayne. We do want to remember that because that's something that is important here. His great grandfather, and that they actually show the not construction, but they're just showing an image of the Wayne Tower. So this is something that was in, I believe they say 1888.
And this is a tower that gets shown off in a bunch of things. Like that
was in Black Mirror. Is that not the tower he jumps out of in Black Mirror in like half the chapters when he's talking to the Oracle?
No, that is the spire. Which
is
like,
that's different. Okay, I thought it was the same thing. Okay.
Yeah, that was Barbara made that so that she could be the
Oracle, the
dispatcher for like Justice League and the Bat Family, and like.
So yeah, they show that here because they want to give you basically not only the history of the Wayne Tower, but giving you basically a grandiose look at this of like how tall it is, literally, and that's why Alan Wayne built it. That Bruce explains that it's to watch over the city, as if people coming into Gotham are being welcoming, and that you have someone who's protecting you. So, and then we go to the next page where he's being kicked out of it. So, and he's out of the window. So and then of course now it goes. Now we're, it skips back basically to present day, and it says about 24 hours earlier, so literally one day earlier before him falling.
They like to jump around time a lot in this comic.
Right, but I do like that they just don't do it. Like literally the next page will say 24 hours earlier. They're actually giving you a time frame of how much earlier. I think many comics and even media just don't do that. They just jump around. And it can be a little like off-putting. So I actually like just being direct with the reader of like, this is a day earlier. Which this is even a pretty funny sequence. Again, these are just some thugs. I don't think this was anything like a little too crazy. They're stealing one of the statues.
He's just and he's he takes down a bunch of thugs in a helicopter.
Yeah, and
it's just this intense sequence, and then also I think Yeah, Alfred's going like, "Hey, you need to be across town at an autopsy. What are you doing?" Like,
Yeah, yeah. Especially if the Bat family is here, he's like, let someone else do that. He's like, you need to be in this autopsy. Like, I have to say, like, just having so much more. Where Black Mirror was so focused on the relationship with Commissioner Gordon, now here we see much more of this relationship with Alfred, and we always know how much Alfred loves him, treats him like an actual son. But you feel it so much here, especially in the later chapters, where like it almost makes you emotional because of like how much Alfred cares about him, and you see it show much more. Where like, it got me emotional a little bit because I was like, it gets really intense with Alfred and Bruce later. So and just to point out, even though this is just a chase, I do like even this little top area here where he's like, they're in a helicopter stealing the statue. They get away from him, and he's like, he goes on top of a train. Like he's on top of a train in that image. And it was just so funny how he still got them. And they're like, oh shit, and he jumps through like the front shield of the helicopter window. It was just great imagery. That's all I was gonna say about that. I don't want to get into too much and like, because that was just more of a petty crime that he was just getting at them for. So now we go to the autopsy of our John Doe. So
and then we see, I think Batman is in one of these like new I think he's in one of the new Bat caves that he built.
So he's in one of the okay, yeah, because I was wondering. Well, I mean, they're in. I think Commissioner Gordon is with the what do you call them, a coroner, I believe.
Yeah, but like since he was across town, I think he just got into one of the new Bat caves because then he uses a device that can like 3D project the autopsy in front of him to where he can still analyze it without actually having to be there.
And unfortunately, we find out that he died horribly. He hemorrhaged in his own throat, so meaning that he choked on his own blood. However, it was very basic. You know, the coroner's like, this is all that it is. He leaves, and that's when, as Wolvy mentioned, him using his camera that he can use from anywhere, from his back cave, which is crazy. And he gets much more of a 3D print.
And the scanner picks up that there is a problem with one of his teeth. Mm-hmm. And when they pop it out, it has this owl insignia.
Yeah, we get the owl insignia. So again, now we officially see like seeing at least a symbol of the Court of Owls.
Mm-hmm. And then that's when Dick shows up behind him, and Batman asks him like, "Why was this guy's? Why was your DNA under this guy's nails?"
Yeah.
And he's like, "There, Dick was at a public event, and someone grabbed his arm, and
which was
security got him off him, but by that point, the guy had scratched him, and that's how the DNA was under his nails." Hey, Shadow.
Shadow, hello. It was the Court of Owls, yes. And even for me, again, just like where the illustration with Lincoln March here, like I fully believed Dick. I don't think he had any reason to lie to him. Again, that could have been to throw off the reader. I know some people might not believe him when you read it, but I fully believed him. I didn't think I had any reason to doubt what Dick was telling him. Yeah. That was true.
It was more just like why is that there? And then it's like, it's because of this. Like, okay, sure, whatever.
And then of course another one of Batman's quips which I just really think he's the most comfortable around Dick, so he tends to do it more often around him. But Dick is like, because he knows. I think even later on he mentions how like he just knows Bruce than Bruce knows himself. Because like he's like, you already knew all this, didn't you? And again, we know as readers, and it's funny because Bruce is like, yeah. I think he just wants to ask him to see if his story would match up to what he actually saw on the security footage. So it did. It matched up. We get a confirmation real quick there, even if you were doubting.
Also, you can already see Capullo starting to draw Dick looking older.
No, I think I think he's actually like in his Nightwing costume. He's trying to make him look more mature.
And also, this is the first. This is the first time we see the New 52 Nightwing costume, which
I actually prefer the red. I'm not gonna lie, as much as I love his original blue, this is nice. I am not against it.
I like it as a variant, but I do like his black and blue like theming in terms of like the Bat family, because like we've got Red Hood and then Red Robin. Like we don't need another
Red. Yeah. And I think it still makes him look the red, as much as I like it, and I do like how the symbol's going across his shoulders, like it's all the way across. It's just something where it still makes him look Robin-ish. It doesn't really stand out as Nightwing. So
but I do
like you said, I like the variant. I do like the variant.
the original Nightwing, who was a superhero on Krypton, his suit was blue. So
Oh, okay. That's where he got it from.
Dick got the idea. Because when he was having his rebellious moment as Robin and going off, um, and wanting to like make his own superhero identity, uh, he became really close friends with Superman,
Oh, okay.
and Superman showed him some some history of Krypton, and that's where he got Nightwing from.
Oh, see, I never knew the origin of Nightwing. Honestly, I
Not
just
a lot of
remember,
people do.
I remember seeing like the animated series and like the next episode, it was like, oh, he's Nightwing.
and and it's a guy with basically like the powers of Superman, but he's on Krypton.
Oh, that's actually pretty cool.
And we actually just got a preview for this current Nightwing run. Like they're relaunching with a new writer and artist, and so they've hinted at a couple of things that are going to be coming out. One's a brand new villain that like has to do with puppets. And the second cover they've teased is someone standing or actually floating behind Nightwing, wearing the original Nightwing like costume.
Oh, that's actually pretty cool.
So
floating behind
it's like,
him.
oh, the original like
OG Nightwing, because
if he would of the original Nightwing,
if he would have Superman's powers, and also.
And it's just a preview, so we don't know anything about it yet. But it's like, oh, okay, interesting.
and also, again, even here we see more of the detective skills. Like I know we skipped over a little bit, but just here real quick, where Batman shows the scarring on his knuckles when he's looking at him more deeply, and that's from training, right? But more blocking. Mm-hmm. So it wasn't really someone who was training. He was the trainer. So we do find out more about the John Doe, that whoever killed him probably was one of his pupils. And that, it's still a little confusing of like, okay, like, well, why would he do that? Like, if, he tried to kill his,
Just trying to get to the bottom of all.
Trying to get to the bottom of this. And, why, like, literally, like, why would he do that? Especially killing him in such a egregious way. Like, it was horrific. And it definitely was not a quick death, very slow death, painful death. So now we skip to, and which I actually like this, again, just from an illustrator point of view, where there are times as certain things are going on, and it happens multiple times in this comic, where Dick is talking to him, and they actually put the Nightwing like text box around it. I actually kind of like that, so you know that it's him, and you're not just assuming. It's so small,
I don't think it'll come up if I show it.
On this first one, probably not. We may have to show a later one because it comes up multiple times. But yeah, that first one's in that upper left corner. It's so tough to see. And it just says,
but it just has like the little logo in the text box, which is nice.
Right. And and then Dick is making, of course, as the jokes he always makes, as we saw in Black Mirror, where he's like, he goes, technically you only got less than 12 hours to live because he was supposed to die tomorrow, right? So like he's making the joke, right? Because especially that out of all people, Dick is not going to believe Batman's going to actually die in 24 hours. So we actually get to the lunch. Lincoln March had to try to do that lunch. It didn't happen. He had to leave to go meet Commissioner Gordon, but now it is happening. So they finally meet.
Meeting at the top of the old Wayne Tower.
Yes, so now they are on the Wayne Tower. So
now we have caught up to where
it started.
Apparently, he's going to get thrown out the window. So.
and this is where again, he kind of goes back to what he was trying to say at the banquet, is that Bruce had to run out, but he's like, even Bruce seems confused and also questioning him a bit. As a reader, you do as well. Like I said, I was even questioning Lincoln March back just from the illustration, but now here, definitely questioning him a little bit more as he's like.
I think they were trying to go for almost like a Superman-ish kind of look with him.
Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah, they were.
He's big. He has these bright blue eyes, and
he's a good-looking man.
Yeah, and he always has like some sort of like some sort of a smirk, even when he's frowning. Like he's still got that like. Just
no, yeah. No,
you can see it especially in this panel where
he looks more like downtrodden. Yeah, he's like concerned, and he still looks like that block. Like he's got the chiseled face.
He's still got that little dimple.
Yeah, he still has a dimple. Yeah, they definitely made him more like a Clark Kent version here. But he's telling him, he's like, look, I don't want the public endorsement, because Bruce is like, I'm not going to do that. He's like, I don't want the donation. I literally just want you to vote for me because what you said at the banquet when you talked about the depression with your parents and what happened to them, that happened to me as well, except for mine, they died in a car accident. And I also lost both of my parents, which Bruce didn't know. He goes, so I really do truly believe it's not just me trying to get an endorsement from you, that what this new borough you're adding to the city will truly change it and actually give them hope. And of course, as he's saying that,
As he's saying that,
yeah,
someone new that we've never seen before starts barging in, uh, using throwing knives and just regular knives on the security
great
and other people
illustration.
there.
And we see with the owl insignia, we see our owl assassin.
Mm-hmm. And Lincoln takes a knife to the torso, but nothing crazy, just enough to incapacitate him.
So one thing here
And
that I do want to point out, because I know we might skip over a bit, but it just made me laugh. It was just something I wrote in my outline. Is that Bruce is thinking, when they show the black text boxes, that's just him, his own inner monologue. So he's like, just me and him, but still have to be careful, restrain myself, never know who's watching. Go for strikes that look like lucky blows. So I've heard him say that in the animated series as well, and just even in some of the games, and he says it here again in this New 52 comic. I never understood,
because if this guy who his outward persona is supposed to be this affluent, above it all, kind of an idiot, like,
right.
but like he's still this like rich philanthropist.
Right.
If he starts busting out ninja moves, people are gonna be like, what?
I guess so, but the reason I question it is because for me it's like, if you have all that money, it's not really out of the question for him to have no martial arts. I have to have paid someone to teach him,
but not to a Batman level.
Not to a Batman level,
like that's why he's still like
he's doing like boxing moves, kind of, yeah, like.
But he's not going full Batman here. Like he's like, because if people saw what he could actually do out of the costume, it's not too many steps away to say, oh well, how rich do you have to be to use these gadgets?
Yeah, okay, maybe I could see that, because I was like, there's so many people that pay for martial arts stuff. I mean, it's possible as this rich person who has, he's not a millionaire, he's a billionaire, that he's just been taught professional fighting styles and he knows how to fight.
Yeah, it's just, he has spent so much time building up this persona of being this playboy idiot that, like, if he starts doing things that contrast that, it's like people are going to ask questions and arrive at answers.
The assumed answers. So unfortunately, we do see Lincoln March with two stabs
just
as well.
Just to add a little bit. That's why he doesn't actually drink at any events. He does ginger ale instead to make it look like champagne.
Oh, that's one of my friends growing up, when she was like, just being sober, just to like pretend she was drinking with us, she would do ginger ale like in a wine glass and look like wine.
yeah,
so exactly. Something like that. So no one knew she was drinking ginger ale. We thought she was drinking wine.
Yeah, exactly, and that's to keep up appearances.
Yeah, that was.
But he will act like he's drunk out of his mind, but be completely sober. There's one scene. I know you're about to start playing, or you might have already started playing Gotham Knights. Have you seen the scene of him at the Iceberg Lounge yet?
No, I have to get much further into the game. I didn't play too much of it yet.
There's a little video feed that you find of him at the Iceberg Lounge. Oh boy.
I mean,
I say he's pretending to be very drunk.
The only time I know that maybe he was a legit drunk was like Adam West Batman, like old school. When he like, but even then that was technically them like poisoning him, and he got like he got drunk.
So he puts a lot of effort into portraying himself as this rich idiot who is also a party boy, and like.
Oh yeah, he's the playboy in the animated series. They call him that too. Yeah.
So.
Okay, so I guess I could see that he wouldn't have the coordination to fight like this, I guess. Okay, so...
Yeah.
Now I get... Because at first I was like, oh, he could just pay for that, but then I'm like, okay, now that you're explaining it that way, I could see that.
Mm-hmm. And that's one thing I'm also excited for the next movie, is there's been a lot of confirmation from, like, Matt Reeves and Mattson Tomlin, and I think even Robert Pattinson, being like, this next movie is going to focus a lot on him building the Bruce persona, and like how difficult it is to maintain both Bruce and Batman at the same time.
Oh yeah, no, I'm glad they're gonna go more into that, because it's like, as you're reading it, I'm like, when do you sleep? You can,
Yeah.
because it just doesn't even like make sense to me. So I actually would love to read something like that, go into a background of how he does it. So yeah, so we have here, when Lincoln Marsh got stabbed twice here, he's been kicked to the side. Bruce has also been stabbed twice, but luckily it's not hitting any major arteries. But he could still bleed out. So now he's like,
but he's blocked enough to where it's not lethal.
and he didn't pull it out. If he pulls it out, of course, he would probably bleed to death. But at one point he's like, playtime's over. Now he doesn't give a shit who sees that he's Batman. Like, he's like, I'm gonna fight you for real now because the dude
if
was.
I don't, I'm gonna die.
Yeah, he's like the dude's about. I mean, he landed those 2 knife blows very swiftly, very easily, and Batman's like, oh shit, this guy knows what he's doing. And then if you can show that, because I think it's probably one of the best animations in this whole book. This illustration of him being kicked through the window, where it shows every shard of glass, is beautiful. Yeah, right at the bottom there.
I can't quite get the details.
I get that. Fully understand that. Oh, sorry. Am I pointing to my fucking thing? No, I am. I know my ring light's just hella bright, but it's
hard to see, but there's a lot of just so tiny details.
My
on glass.
God, the tiniest to every shard, and even in the
like that had to take a long time for Capullo to get all that.
Like I wouldn't be surprised if even in the drawing where they did more of like a geometrical shape, like a parabola or something, like trying to really.
Even if we go back to like him crashing through the window of the.
In the opening of chapter 2, yeah, and when crashing through the front of the helicopter. Oh yeah, that's a beautiful like illustration.
Like, look at all those shards.
I just really, really like the kick here because he does it so it really shows. One,
you can feel the impact.
Yeah, you feel the impact. There's so many things being shown in this one little illustration. One with the assassin, you can see his poise, right? Like he's so trained, very martial arts trained. Because even with something like that, where you said that you thought he went out the window with him, you could see here that he's fully. The way he kicked him is like full stance. Like he definitely did not go out the window with him because you could see that he didn't trip up. It was a swift kick, like very strong stance there. Even how hard he hit Bruce, where Bruce did not have a chance.
Every time you see him, he's like the most efficient movements.
Yeah, most efficient. Yeah, that would be the best way. The efficiency is top notch, and it's something where even where Batman has been blocking most of these hits, this was a direct hit where he did not block at all. You could see that there was no blocking there. Fully hit him on his chest.
And I like the monologue here where he's like, it doesn't make sense. It only takes 11 pounds of pressure to collapse a windpipe. I'm applying over 100 and he's not even flinching. Must be on something, some kind of venom.
Oh yeah, he's doing his detective work while he's falling 1,000 feet from the air. Yeah. Like he's already trying to deduce about him. And they did make a little quip in the beginning. We kind of skipped over it because it was a small detail, but about the windows in the Gotham Tower, where like they're made to be impenetrable, so they don't break like the way that they shattered, unless you hit them like in the corners or something like that. And then like of course he hits him at the perfect angle to get him through this tower and almost kick him to his death. Like it's crazy. So he's right.
And as they're falling and fighting, Batman is like calculating each gargoyle that goes by of like, well shit, that will rip my arms off if I get too far. Like
yeah, and then the assassin just saying to him how I love killing the Waynes, so literally jumping out after him just to like, and harkening back that like I've done this to multiple of your family members. So now Bruce is hearing this like, oh, this is a generational thing. So this is where they really first come to that, and they're still He's now Bruce has flipped over and on top of him, beating him while they're still falling. in the next panel, and they talk about the guardians of the tower. There were 12 guardians, but then of course, in typical Batman nature, there was a secret 13th guardian. He happens to just land on this gargoyle, which is, I almost giggled a bit because I was like, you gotta be fucking kidding me! Just like,
well, he breaks his fall by like kind of using the Talon, as we eventually know.
Yeah, the assassin there, yeah.
Like, like he eventually uses Talon to like break his fall a bit by pushing off of him.
And then he's able to flip onto the Guardian. Yes.
Yeah.
And that's what I assumed too, because they didn't fully show that flip. But I just assumed that he grabbed on and then kind of flipped onto it. And then the Talon falls straight down without him and lands right on a. I think he landed. Oh no, he landed next to a police car, but he landed like on a Lamborghini or something. Shows the fully broken car,
convertible, which might have been Bruce's.
Oh, that would have been okay. That would have been funny. I didn't think it was Bruce's, but yeah. So he lands on it, destroys it. You know, as a reader, you're like, okay, he defeated this Talon guy, but because of how persistent, how ruthless he is in his attempt to get to the Waynes, that even I kind of second guessed that. I was like, damn, I was like, no one can survive that fall, but it's possible he'll get up and walk away. And that's exactly what happened. The paramedics take him, and he kills both paramedics, and then we're into chapter 3. Mm-hmm. Now, before we go to chapter 3,
again, we get this shot.
I was just about to say, yeah, we were about to talk about the same illustration. Love it.
No, the one of him in the van.
Oh, yeah. Oh, with the eyes.
I love Capullo's use of shadows. It's beautiful.
He likes his eyes. He definitely likes the eyes. He does that a lot.
The only thing you see is the eyes, which again is another thing that influenced this movie, where in the opening all you see of Riddler is his eyes.
Yep.
In the shadows. And it's like, oh shit.
Which I absolutely love. Just again, this use of lighting, the use of the eyes to really portray like. If it's something more sinister, like really, you know, whatever's happening in the shadows in the background there, and and they show, and the end. This is where it's the first time it gets, as Wolvy was showing, it gets a lot more bloody. Like he just straight up slices them with it, because he has talons and owl daggers, so he basically has gauntlets on his hands for talons. And just like, absolutely murders them both, and where again the first time of many times that we're gonna see in this comic where Batman says there is no court of owls, not in my city.
Mm-hmm. And then the illustration you were talking about, which is the cover of the next issue, is just
that's like, okay. Yes, that's what they were doing in Black Mirror too. I guess because I'm so used to reading compendiums that I guess if I bought them as individual issues, I would see those covers more. But yeah, so that was the cover, and now we go to chapter 3, the 13th hour. So,
but I was just gonna add because since I threw it in there, part of the reason I love this movie is because it takes so much from this comic in terms of like tone and like.
What are you talking about? The most recent which movie? I'm sorry.
The Pattinson version.
Oh, okay. That I figured you were talking about that one. Okay, I just wanted to make sure.
Like there's so much that it takes from, not only like other early Batman stories like Year One or like it takes a little bit from Batman Ego that was listed as an inspiration.
Right.
Some from Long Halloween, which takes place in Year 2.
I love Halloween. Long Halloween, it's so good.
But a lot of like the tone wise and how Batman goes about things and a lot of the artwork influenced the Pattinson movie.
Oh, okay. I guess I want to rewatch it because now I'm reading Black Mirror and now Court of Owls, like 2 back to back. I gotta rewatch that Pattinson movie because maybe I'll pick up on a lot more of those details.
That's why I was saying last episode. Like after we read this one, I want you to go back and watch.
And now watch them.
There are so many parallels.
And before our next podcast, I'll probably have Absolute Batman read as well. So I think I just want to see like all these parallels going on. So yeah, chapter 3 in the 13th hour. We again where I was. We were saying to all of you to really pay attention to the name of Alan Wayne. That was the creator of the Wayne Tower, one of the first Waynes in the city, like the original Wayne, as we can call him, in Gotham City. We see him
flashes back to 1922.
1922, and he's out there barefoot. He's gone, and they do mention Alan Wayne's death. I think earlier, and they'll say it again here that he died from drowning. And they show here that he's going insane. And just like with the guy that grabbed Dick's arm where, his skin was under his fingernails, the John Doe where he's like, they're going to come for all of you, not just Bruce, it's going to be all of you, the whole family. Alan Wayne, and this is back in 1922 now, where the same almost like, if you want to call it a psychosis in some way, where he is literally seeing owls everywhere. Like, he thinks that they're in the shadows, he's constantly being watched, he's losing his mind. And the cops are like, they recognize him, they're like, we can't, send him into Arkham Asylum, like, that's going to be so noticeable. He's the richest man in the city. Like, let's just try to help him get back home. And he falls into this manhole. Now, I will say, after he falls into that manhole, goes back to present day. I did think, and they do explain it, which I like. Some comics don't do that, or even movies, but later we're going to find out what happened after he fell into the manhole, because at this point, he falls into the manhole, goes back to present day, and I'm like, well, how did he die from drowning in that? I was like, the two cops can go down there and get him? Like, I do understand in sewage that there could be like a high tide and the water could be high enough to actually drown and swim in. So like
Yeah.
that could have been a thing where, but it wasn't even heavily raining. It was snowing. So I'm like, wait, because and it's a little funny. It's not supposed to be a funny moment, but I like how whenever people fall, and I guess to put it in words, it's like "I" or something like the way that they spell it out, and it's yeah, and then he's like it just falls into the sewer, and then but then it cuts out, and I'm like, how did he die from that? Like, I was like, these two cops are the most useless dudes. Like, you couldn't save him from that fall. Especially, like, if it was a high fall and he, like, broke his bones, that would have been different. But they're saying he drowned. I was like, how long was he in that water? Because they say here that they couldn't find him for 8 days. What? He was right behind you and he fell into that manhole.
Like, they kind of explain it. Where...
Oh, later on they do, but yes.
At least my theory is, I think he got grabbed by the Talon.
Mm-hmm. And because even at this point, before we find out anything with the Talon, I'm just like... I could believe he fell, but
this is after he's already gone through the other thing.
Yes, and he's already seeing the owls in his manor. He's seeing like the shadows. They've most likely have already approached him at this point to threaten him that he's sentenced to die. All that, all that good stuff.
I'm pretty sure to mildly spoil. Mm-hmm. I'm pretty sure this is post Labyrinth.
Oh, for Alan, yes.
Yeah.
Like they already did that to him. Yes, I do agree.
Yeah.
And that's okay. We're gonna get to that. That's like chapter 4 or 5 anyway. That's
coming up soon.
That's fine. That's not later on anyway. That's pretty much middle of the book. But
I'm pretty sure he just fell in, or he either fell in or he got grabbed, and then I think the fact that he was at a different location means that I think the Talon got to him, drowned him, and then threw him elsewhere.
Yeah, and even they show, before it goes back to present day, they show the two cops hovering over the manhole. They go, Mr. Wayne, are you down there? Like, hello? And they don't even... Yeah, that the way you typed it out. Yeah, so, they did call out to him, so as a reader, you're already thinking, okay, he got murdered. Like, we don't know exactly why, because we're still very... as someone, who doesn't know anything about Court of Owls, you're thinking, okay, he definitely got murdered by someone. It could be the same guy that went after Bruce, or same type of assassin, because this is obviously so many years earlier. So now, now we go to Gotham City now, where it just jumps to Batman beating the shit out of some thugs. We're like, what is going on?
And I'm pretty sure this is another one of those, like, throw things at the wall, see what sticks. Because, like, I don't think these characters come up ever again.
Oh, yeah.
The Whisper Gang.
I do like... I didn't... Yeah, I'm reading the Whisper Gang again, but I will say at the end of the book, none of their names really stood in my head. I just took it as more like, okay, they're... Just like if it was like, for anyone
it's
that's...
just some random gang.
Right,
but like,
right. If you're seeing like Gangs in New York or any of those movies, like very typical.
They add so much lore as he's describing them that it feels like they wanted them to be a thing, and it just
I think it would have made just like the Gotham show where they're much younger and Bruce is still younger in that show, and then it's about more of the gangs in that earlier version of Batman before it's more like the superpowered villains. I think that's what they're going for here, because it's like, you have all the entrances into Gotham, and that each gang has their own territory, and that's how he explains it here. The Whisper Gang being the most ruthless out of all of them, that they are the most deadly to be around. So he goes after them because they're the ones that, he's like, there's no way that they came in. They didn't come in by air through the helicopter. They didn't come in by driving in, because he checked out security cameras. So Batman's attacking the Whisper Gang because he's like, well, they're the only gang that controls underground traffic, so they have to come through the tunnels. So like, that's why he's there, basically to question them. That he's like, how would this assassin have gotten in with no way of me seeing him come in? So
I love how he takes them out, where he just throws a high-powered magnet onto the train as it's passing.
Oh, and it's like smacking on, it's like smacking on the face.
It's all going.
Oh my! They literally get dragged, and that shit is so funny. And then this guy here that like Bruce is not believing. He's like, tell me everything you know about the assassin you led into Old Waynestown. The guy's like, I truly don't know. And then his lens is like, he's telling the truth, because his lens has a lie detector on it. So Batman's like, shit.
Of course.
Oh yeah, but the most like upgraded technology. I think it to me this called back into Black Mirror with Dick, where he breaks into the cop's house and then he even shocks the girlfriend with his little like finger taser, and then. And then remember, he breaks into his house. He has a night vision camera, and then he's reading like some of the stuff on his wall, like some of the high tech weapons he has. And he goes, "Please, that's nothing. Mine are like 10 times more high tech than this." And like again, Batman has like always the highest tech.
It's always
known to man.
Super high tech.
Yeah, like, and again now, where I do like at least calling back to Tim. So they didn't leave Tim Drake to just rot in Black Mirror. Like he actually does come back in New 52, and he's still like the super high tech genius that helps him. So
Oh yeah. Tim is always the tech guy.
Yeah, which I love. Which at least he's something, because the Red Robin costume is not it. Although I would like to see the New 52 version of his Red Robin. But
a lot of people don't prefer it. I do prefer it.
Well, I mean, I didn't like the Black Mirror one. So it has to look better than that. I would hope it looks better than that.
Let me see. If I pull this up.
Do you have an image of it?
I'm just going to see if, like, something comes up here.
Because I have not seen New 52 Red Robin. I'm actually kind of interested to see how he looks like.
So this is an edit someone made, but it is the suit.
Oh, did you sent this? I'm sorry. Oh, that's much better. He almost goes like Robin. Yeah, they put the heart on it.
Yeah, it's basically the last suit, but without the mask, or without the cowl, and the mask is just like the regular Robin mask.
It's better he leaves the hair out, because that cowl just made him like an egghead. Like, it just wasn't cute.
And he can lift up his arms and like grab his cape, and it becomes wings.
So are you telling me that people would prefer the old one that's in Black Mirror over this one?
I think they just didn't like the suit compared to like the Robin suit.
I mean, I like this much better. I mean, it's like he has a utility belt for an X. That's cool. He looks like an X-Man.
Tim was Robin for longest.
Yeah.
And so a lot of people prefer him being Robin, to the point where he is currently the Robin with Batman in the Matt Fraction Batman run going on right now. Like,
oh, okay. So yeah. I mean, and honestly, even when you see it with Dick Grayson and Black Mirror, they just went together really well. Tim's is just a good Robin.
Like, even though Damian exists, he's off doing his own thing. And so this is the Robin with Batman. It's usually Tim.
Yeah, that's why I'm just like, that's crazy. But I kind of like with Tim and Black Mirror a lot. It's just I just didn't like the look. But I mean, I like him as a character, so that would actually be pretty cool to see him as Robin again, honestly.
See as Robin, yeah. I was
because you were saying as Robin, yeah,
because like as Red Robin, he didn't really have any really good stories.
Oh, okay, yeah. I don't know much of his story background.
There's not really anything to draw from when it's like Tim as Red Robin, but just as Robin, yeah. There's some good stuff there.
So yeah, I'm just trying to see, because for the next section, I feel like we could skip over that. I mean, his conversation with Alfred is like,
it's kind of just recapping what we know. Like,
yeah, and that's why I had to look on my face, because I was like, wait, I'm not sure we need to talk about that, because it's just Alfred making a little quips with him, which we love. I mean, I think I think if anything, he probably gets his sarcasm from Alfred.
Sweet moment.
Yeah, he probably gets the sarcasm from Alfred, if anything, because Bruce grew up with him. Yeah, and then they talk about the great-great-grandfather, Alan Wayne, and that comes up as well with Alan Signia. So at this point, I will say, from just a first-time reader perspective, I did think Alan Wayne, if he didn't start it, that he was at least a large part of the Court of Owls, and then they just decided to assassinate him. Or, because those are the only two opinions you could kind of form at this point. Either he's a part of it and they decided to get rid of him because something went wrong, or that they were targeting, some of the richest people in the city, and they were going after like the philanthropists, like they're like a list of like high-end targets. So in my head, with seeing the Alan Signia of the great-great-grandfather coming up, the whole scene happening at the Wayne Tower to really show the significance of the history behind it, and why the owl attacking him there was not by mistake. That was definitely on purpose. So it's just like since they keep calling back to it, I'm like, okay, I was like, ooh, the family's involved. But then you also start thinking, like, are there other, like, family bloodlines involved? So this gets very generational. So yeah, he's looking at Owl Insignia. We can kind of skip over a lot of that. He's just trying to see, what he knows about owls, trying to find out about them. Again, still saying Court of Owls does not exist, and then we go back to Lincoln March in the hospital. So you could talk about that.
He goes to visit Lincoln March, and March is like, there have been little warnings and whispers, and I wasn't really like buying into any of it.
Right.
There was like a little owl in my apartment with a bunch of bones underneath it, and like, and then he repeats the Court of Owls poem, which is an old nursery rhyme.
In Gotham City, because I never heard of it. So I guess the nursery rhyme Gotham.
Yeah. It's created for this book, but it's like this old nursery rhyme of beware the Court of Owls. that watches all the time, ruling Gotham from shadowed perch behind granite and lime. They watch you at your hearth. They watch you in your bed, speak not a whisper word of them, or they'll send the Talon for your head.
Yes, and of course the assassin is named the Talon, and this is where we kind of
Yep.
first hear the name of it, and of course him having the owl daggers, actual talons on his hands. They're trying to really play into that role.
Oh yeah. But as they're talking, like March basically gives Bruce the idea, inadvertently, to go check the gap between between a couple of the floors, because they were talking before about how when Alan would build these, like when he made these buildings, he was the first to implement none of them having a 13th floor. But in order
Yes.
for it to not be the 13th floor, there needed to be a gap between the 12th and 14th. And so, uh, uh, that triggers, like what March says triggers something in Batman to go check out the old Wayne Tower.
Yes, and I think that there was like an underground facility because what Lincoln March says to him there, even though that's just a quick story behind him, it does come up later about him being at the orphanage when he was growing up, and that he always said he went insane with those creaks under the floor. And Bruce is not, during this conversation in the hospital, Bruce definitely does not seem to be catching on. You could see how Lincoln March is kind of outsmarting him here, which you don't see often with anyone talking to Batman. And then, but right before he goes out, he's like, "Oh, that's where I need to go." Like, there's a few times in the comic where you could physically like just see the light bulb going off in Bruce's head, and then he goes, and then Lincoln March says to him, "My point is sometimes we become so concerned with little dangers that we don't see the big one right beneath our feet." Because he talks about the creak in the floor that was like a small annoyance, but then it ended up being over a sinkhole, which it all could have died, and luckily they moved out before that happened. And then he talks about that, and then Batman's like, "Oh shit, I have to go." So the light bulb went off, and
so
that's
he
what
goes to
really
the 14th floor, and then cuts a hole in the 14th floor, and drops into what is supposed to be the 13th floor.
Yep.
Which ends up being this like really cool, detailed.
Yeah, this hideout's not as messy as I thought it would be. It actually looks nice.
Yeah, Court of Owls hideout.
Right.
And you see like this old Talon suit of armor.
Now this suit of armor, I think, is more of what they're showing in Gotham Knights, because that mask that they're using looks like more like how this suit of armor is, and
they use a few different types in the game, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, okay.
If I remember correctly, but that yeah, I think it's definitely reminiscent of one of the looks in the game.
So now as a writer, as a reader, this excites you, because it's like, oh, he finally found the hideout. Like, yes, we found the hideout, because at this point, like I said, I'm already thinking Alan Wayne either started it, was a part of it, or he was at least on the hit list for whatever reason as maybe one of the most influential people in this city. So now we're getting to see some of the pictures on the wall, and like, okay, they're gonna finally reveal something here. And we see some of like something back in June of 1891, which would have been literally only 3 years after the this would have been only and to show with Wolvy's mask on. That picture there. They're wearing the Court of Owls mask. So, 1891 is only 3 years after the construction of Wayne Tower, which is why I was like, oh, he could be a part of it, because that was in 1888. So, it's interesting to see some of the pictures here. He goes, the fund established in Alan Wayne's name. I think he wants him to look it up to see, because I think now Batman's even also starting to suspect his own family. So I think Batman's in the same view as the reader at this point, where he's like, "Ooh, I need to go into Alan Wayne and his background and see if he's part of this, or if he is in one of these pictures as a Court of Owls." So, I love that. Like, I guess that contrast when, as a reader, you're like, "Oh yes, I was right," and then you're seeing Batman kind of go into it. He's like, pull up all the addresses, that buildings. Of all the buildings funded by that trust over the last century and a half. So we go to the next page here, and it says
you see him start to bounce between buildings of like, and he's finding these hideouts in every single one of these buildings.
Yes, and then he's like, the most recent was built just 5 years ago. Oh, and we did forget to mention that. I mean, I didn't really pick up on pick up on it until the end of this chapter either. But this is in 2011, so this is when this comic came out, and that's why they're saying 5 years ago. Which I actually like that they did it, because they did it with the actual release of the actual comic year, where 5 years ago was 2006 in this comic.
Yeah.
So that was actually very interesting how they did that. And it says, he goes, I want you to open Alan Wayne's crypt, and he's going to actually take his bones, which is the only way to really see, which I was excited to see as well, because in the beginning, where I was like, how did he die from just falling in the sewer? And we know when we saw the John Doe autopsy with his, like, a super advanced camera, we're like, okay, he's going to really find out what happened to Alan Wayne. So I was excited for him to get the bones out of the crypt, which is, I know, really weird, but it works for Batman.
And as he's exploring this last hideout that was built in 5 years prior, and Batman's like figuring out all this, like they're right under our feet, and as he says that, he steps on a tripwire and the entire floor blows up.
Yeah, literally the whole floor. And then we see, I love this image. I actually want to find this image for our promo too, but this was hard to find by itself. But this image is like absolutely stunning. I think it's probably one of the best illustrations here, probably besides him getting kicked through the glass.
It's one of the most iconic.
Yeah,
because I mean it's on the back of the.
Yeah, it's on the back too. But the glass illustration for me is hard to be. I have yet, since we started this podcast, I have yet to see any illustrator imitate when he got kicked through that glass. I mean, every shard, not only the impact, but I want to say like the angle, like literally putting it in that curved angle, like with the way his back is hitting the glass. Like I haven't seen anything that detailed ever.
I'll have to show you some old Jim Lee art, because he was such an incredible artist that he is currently the head of DC Comics.
Wow.
But he is known for that amount of detail on like, and he was like pumping out books like in his prime. He was like there was a lot of Jim Lee books.
He's pumping that out.
And it's like, how are you doing all of that in such a short amount of time? And it's in the 2000s, so he's doing it the hard way. Like
he's doing it the hard way. No, it's true though. And it's just like I absolutely love how like he was watching the whole time. I kind of knew that even as a reader. Like you're kind of getting when he's in the hideout. You're like, you know, the talent has to be watching him. Like this is too easy, and especially that we're only like in the end of chapter 3 for Batman to have found this. And then, of course, that explosion happens, and we go into chapter 4, the Face the Court Part 1. This is split into 2 parts here. So,
and it basically just opens with Batman escaping the explosion, which is intense, but also nothing really happens.
You have some great illustrations. He's trying to escape, and then we go. So now here, you may be able to show more of Nightwing talking. There's a lot more of those text boxes.
Because like it shows his logo. I'm not sure if I'll be able to get the logo part.
But on that page on the left actually shows it much more. Yeah, so like where it says his first time talking of, if all this is true, then the real end is near, because they're not only going to go after the Waynes. They have, they show a little later, but there is like a list. They just don't know the list yet, like who's on the list, but they know of a list, and these people that they're trying to, a hit list basically. They're trying to assassinate.
Yeah.
Them. So, and that's why Dick is like, then if any of this is true, then this end is going to happen soon. And he saw the multiple hideouts, the hideout that was just there from 5 years ago. So then I'm just trying to make sure I'm not skipping over anything with Dick talking to him here. Multiple times throughout here, Dick always makes a joke with Alfred and with Bruce, where he's like, every time he comes there, Alfred is like, he's busy, he doesn't have time. He goes down there anyway, and I think he goes to wake him up, and every single time he's like, I don't care, I'm coming down here anyway. And of course, because he escaped the explosion, he's in bandages.
And the whole time, Bruce is kind of doing this autopsy on Alan's bones, of just like, like what was the actual cause of death, and using the technology they have, he's like, well, they couldn't see all this at the time, but there are so many like tiny little divots in the bones.
Yes.
From specifically those throwing daggers.
Yeah. And then there's a bit later on where he mentions, I think when he's walking through the sewers, the actual depth of it. But I mean, we could say that now too, where it's just basically that where originally I'm reading, I'm like, how did he die from just falling in there? We know one of the towns is coming after him. He's already going like crazy from coming from the labyrinth. And that is what happened, because Bruce does talk about that it's a hard way to go as one of the richest men in the city if going by drowning. But he goes, what's even worse, he goes, if that isn't what actually happened. After his autopsy, he found out that it was through all those daggers, and the assassins hit his body. Because they said they searched for 8 days. I don't know if they ever actually found the actual body, or if they did, it was washed up somewhere else. And then that's how they got the bones into the crypt. But like,
yeah, they found him washed up against like the grate at the end of the story.
Ah, okay, yeah, because they had so those are actual bones in the crypt. I know sometimes that they do like a bait and switch on bodies too, but and that's what Dick was mentioning here, because even Batman's like, there are ways of beating even the most sophisticated carbon dating programs. It's like, you know that as well as I do, like, because Dick is like, well, they already said what the cause was. Even Alfred had mentioned that it doesn't look like there's any foul play, but we know better than that, of course. And Dick goes into really caring about him. He's like, I'm worried about you. He's like, you should really be resting right now. He's like, and just the same thing with Dick and Tim in Black Mirror, when he's freaking out from the psychosis effect as well from the dealer, and Tim's trying to get him to stay back too. Which never works in either version of Batman.
and they're starting to solidify how Dick looks, where he is older. He is older than he looked in that initial thing. Like, basically, it was just the first issue, or the first the first issue was showing that like really young Bat family.
Yes.
And then like the more we see them, it's like now they're settling into just how they normally look.
Oh no, man. Which I like that too. So I guess like we could see the illustrator like some of the updates.
Like Dick is physically older, or visibly older than he was the first time we saw him.
Much more.
It's like, okay, that's better. I don't know why you looked 13 in that first issue. But
yeah, because like you did not look that much older than Damian. Honestly, like you should have been like hovering over him. And Dick is pretty tall himself. He's not a short guy. So yeah,
and the whole time Dick is like or Bruce is like, there is no Court of Owls. This doesn't make any sense. Why am I seeing this? And Dick is like, well, we're seeing stuff that obviously proves that they exist.
Yeah.
And he's like, no, they don't exist because I looked into it.
He thinks it's an imitator, and even like Marsh is trying to tell him, he's like, he goes, maybe they just, because Bruce is like, even back in the hospital where he's like, if they were here and how much roots I have in this city, how would I have not known about them? And he's like, maybe they just didn't want you to know, and they hid it all this time. So, and now Dick is also saying the same thing, and like Wolvy was gonna say, him going, now he goes through why he truly believes there is no Court of Owls.
Mm-hmm. And it starts with him not believing that his parents' murder was just random. Like it just in his head it couldn't be.
Right.
So he starts looking for reasons. And he started finding like owls' nests in like some of the older buildings, and yes. Like he was looking for every single little bit of evidence as a kid to like he was so determined to figure this out, but nothing was coming up at all. There like any sort of evidence just proving that they existed. And he kept exploring until he finally came to a place called the Harbor House.
Yep, back from Black Mirror.
Mm-hmm. And he goes into it, and he thinks, oh, this is it. Like I finally tracked them down. I located
found
it.
The Court of Owls. Yep.
Mm-hmm. And then he finally gets into this space, this like hidden room, and there's nothing there, and there's just absolutely.
But there was like a dining room up there. I guess he just saw it as like it was just a failed attempt. Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, aside from a table and chairs, there's nothing else up there.
Yeah.
So it's like there's no owl insignias. There's no anything. It's just. So it's just an old empty room that hadn't been used in years. But he was so shocked that he accidentally shut the trap door to get in there, and he was locked in there for over a week. Yep. And he slipped into a coma.
So yeah, that he went comatose, which
that is very important.
Yes, and
him being trapped over a week.
Yes, and then it makes you think like, because even at this point, I still believe that he did find it, even before they kind of, whether they confirm or deny that later in the book. Even at this point, I'm like, I think he found it, and that maybe they purposely trapped him up there for that week, because he's like, oh, I didn't see the door close behind me. But I think that they locked him in there. I mean, that's just what I'm thinking at this point as a reader.
I could.
So
they don't really explain it, but I could easily see that happening.
Yeah, like he found it, with the parents and everything. And I'm glad that they actually brought that up. So even if it's the first time you're reading this as a New 52, it's like, oh, like they go back to the parents' death, what he thought about it, how he handled it. Because there's so many of the Batman movies and media that show the death of the parents, but they don't really show that fallout after with him, how he reacted, even him as a kid, and it's just straight into him being Batman many years later. So it was good to see, like, his emotions behind it, what he did to really truly find out the detective work. I don't believe this, it had to be the assassins. So, and then we didn't skip too far ahead, because it now comes to the part in the sewer where Batman does explain that that's not the real way Alan Wayne went, that he was stabbed to death by the Court of Owls with the 50 stab wounds, which is crazy.
Yeah.
But he goes, I found something else in his bones, a residue, and I think this residue that it's a residue of granite.
Mm-hmm. He basically goes like, there's only a certain amount of like places in the city where you can get that kind of residue, and it
it's
doesn't
marble.
make
I'm sorry.
much sense. Yeah,
mm-hmm.
Like it doesn't make much sense that it's like he starts going into the sewer to try to figure out like where that could have come from, because it doesn't make sense that he has that.
Yes, and then Wolvy's favorite part, the eyes, because he's right behind him.
Oh yeah.
So then
I love Capullo's artbut he just does such a good job on the shadow.
My God, I cannot get over it. It's just
I
so
wish
good.
I liked him more as a person.
But yeah, no, that this is just so well done. And then even like, and then again, in case you forgot it. Oh well, I mean, I don't know. That's up to you if you want to get into that. But it's just,
he got into some hot water by bad mouthing someone else in the industry. It's not like he's like canceled or anything. He's just,
I know,
he's just a bit of a jerk.
Yeah, even here he goes through the whole nursery rhyme again, unless in case you kind of forgot it before. I kind of like it here better. I think you kind of retain it more as a reader, because now it's coming from the talent himself, where they kind of split it up there, and like he's coming at him trying to kill him, right? Like to really knock him out, or even just straight up murder him here. I love that page there, and it goes through the whole nursery rhyme. So
yeah, and he's just like falling into this pit.
Now I will say, because and there might be so many iterations of this throughout Batman media, gaming, and just history. But one of my favorite episodes from the original animated series back in 1992 is when Riddler sends him to the labyrinth, and I think he ends up using like the hand of Midas to get out of it, like to destroy the labyrinth walls and finally escape. So this labyrinth reminds me exactly of that, because it's one of my favorite animated episodes. And then now we finally get to really kind of meet the Court of Owls. Yes,
again, wonderful illustrations.
And then and then in my head I'm reading this as all three of them talking at once. So it's like, welcome Batman to the labyrinth, and it's just so well done. I love that. And again, like you said, illustration of the next chapter where it looks like Batman already has all these daggers in him. He's sliced up from the knives and the daggers in his hand, the talons. And chapter 5, Face the Court, part 2. So if you want to go with that, Wolvy.
So then we see Jim and Harvey up on top of this roof, and
it's sad.
Harvey starts this so strangely. He's like, he'll be dead soon, but it turns out he's talking about the bat signal because they've named it.
Oh yeah, I mean, it's so okay. So I didn't pick up on that.
Okay,
I didn't pick up on that, but I think that
Siggy, the bat signal.
And I didn't pick up on that, but even if he was really referring to Batman, I guess I would not have batted an eye at it, because it's just Bullock. Bullock's an asshole. Like it's just him.
Like, how would he know?
Oh yeah. Well, yeah, he wouldn't know either. But I think they do go through this whole bat signal like fading away, and I do love that now we get shots of the Bat family.
Mm-hmm. And like we, it's not necessarily said immediately. Like it doesn't have like a little text box that says what time it is. But the next page, Bullock does say it's been 8 days that he's been disappeared, which lines up with when he was a kid and got trapped for over a week.
Yep. And that lines up to the amount of time that it took to find Alan Wayne's body. It was also 8 days.
But
So,
Gordon's like, we have to leave this signal on, not just because he might come back, but also like as a warning to the rest of
they still think he's out there.
Criminals.
Right.
Yeah. Which again is something this movie did.
Which they did, yes. And that's the thing too. So yeah, it's not the first time we've seen it, but and then it also goes into a bit of a touching moment, you know, like a poignant moment, showing that it's also for the ones who are hurting and the other guys that are on our side too, like to give like Batgirl and Robin and Nightwing, give them hope as well, because they're a lot of, you know, they don't want to give up, and even Catwoman. I like that, even showing like a quick shot of Catwoman there.
Yeah, and I think it's the only time she shows up in the book.
Yeah, so I kind of like that, because that was like one of his, like, you know, besides the whole thing with Talia later, obviously with Ra's al Ghul, Catwoman's like one of his first loves.
Oh yeah, I mean she's his, like, she's who in most variations he ends up like together with forever. So.
Yeah, but Damien is Talia's, no?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a oh boy. So
I mean, I don't blame him. Like, I'm not sure, but Talia's damn, she's hot.
Well,
so I don't blame him. But I mean, her and Ra's are a little crazy, and she's magic mainly, right? She's a mage kind of magician thing.
So Talia drugged Batman in the desert.
Oh no! Come on, that's the way that happened. No, why was
that's the way that happened?
Okay. I don't know if I like her anymore. That's not a good way to go about that.
And that's the reason they didn't talk for 10 years.
Yeah, my God. Well, I'm glad he didn't take it out on Damien though, because he does take care of him.
Yeah, no, he tries his best with Damien.
Yeah.
But also a character in here that you probably don't recognize because we've never talked about him and he's not used in anything outside of the New 52 is Luke Fox, Batwing.
Okay.
Who is the one just below Dick and Damien on this page here. He is the son of Lucius Fox, who is the R&D head of Wayne Enterprises. And essentially he's like, imagine Batman with an Iron Man suit.
Which happened, which is what we see later.
Kind of, yeah.
Well, but yeah, kind of. But I do like it though. Yeah. So I was looking at some of the imagery.
That's Batwing. I figured you probably didn't know who that was.
No, so. I did not. Yeah, no, actually, I did not know. No. Yeah, because I was looking.
Yeah, he does not show up.
You're talking
much.
about here in this bottom left corner, this guy.
Yeah.
Okay. I did not know who that was. No.
Yeah, he does not show up much, and
actually,
I don't think he's even been used after the New 52.
I actually like his blue like neon bat symbol. That looks cool.
Yeah. I mean, it is like a full tech suit, and like he has wings he can pop out and like lasers and stuff. But yeah, he's not used a ton. So, but yeah, and that's his one appearance in the book.
No. Thank you for going into that, because honestly, I think I skipped over. I think it didn't stay fresh in my mind because I was like, ooh, Batgirl, and I saw Catwoman, and then I honestly didn't even notice him there. So I guess maybe that's what it was. The Bat
family is a lot bigger than people realize.
Yeah.
We even see another member later on that I know you don't know because I barely know anything about them, other than just a little bit about their backstory. But yeah, then we go back into
the labyrinth.
Back into the labyrinth with Bruce, who this is his 8th day of surviving this thing.
Yeah.
And he's like staying in the darkness and wanting, like, his usual structured monologue has now broken into like they want me out of the dark. I won't. I'll stay here, like where it's safe from them. Like
he's maniacal at this point. Yeah.
Yeah, he's like losing it.
Yeah.
And we get this great shot of like they turn the lights on, and it's this beautiful.
I love
fountain.
How the owl, yeah, with the owl and the water coming right out of the owl's like a beak there. And here you'll see that this usage where we were just talking about the lighting. I think the best use of it in this entire comic is these two chapters here.
Going from like the darkness to the bright lights.
Because he's literally like
And
trying, you know, and you can tell they're starving
and
him.
you can see it's that like harsh fluorescent light where like,
oh yeah, it's to blind
if you're
you.
in it too long, it hurts your eyes.
It's to blind you, yeah. Like how they use like in like department stores like Lowe's or Home Depot or something.
And he's like, "This is the only water source. I know it's drugged, but I'm thirsty. I need to survive this." And so he goes back into the shadows, and eventually he stumbles into this room that is just wall to wall pictures, like framed pictures.
Yeah.
And it is all of the last moments of all of these people
that they've assassinated since like 1891 when the Court of Owls was originated.
Mm-hmm.
So like that's why it's like a bunch of sick people that they're just like really like reveling in it, and that they love that they have such control over this city, even over Batman, and they want to, and of course, you know, they're doing this on purpose to make him see, right? They want him to see. Mm-hmm. The use of the lighting to hurt him and his eyes. You can see the red in his eyes because they're burning his retinas quite literally.
Yeah, and his mask is torn, so like rather than just having the white lens, like there's a whole like part ripped out where you can see his eye.
Yeah, and it's so bad. Like, and it's something where, you know, if you guys even know about those 1920s type of old school cameras, which they have in this labyrinth, those things are because they use I think it's a potassium chloride or something.
Yeah,
because it's almost like a. I guess
it's a little mini explosion.
I was gonna say it's like a mini grenade. Yeah, it's supposed to be like that. You spark and it goes, poof, and that's how it takes the picture. But it's like you would be like, oh shit! It's like you're getting hit with a flash grenade. So imagine them doing that.
So as he walks into this dark room, he gets hit with that, and then the lights turn on. And then so he smashes the camera, and then goes back into the labyrinth. He hallucinates seeing a bunch of the court members.
Yep.
And he's just losing it. He's like, "I'll tear you limb from limb. You think you can fool me? You think so?" And like he's just losing it the further he goes into this.
And I love it here because the town's behind him the whole time, like he's watching him. Yeah.
And then my favorite part of
yes, I
and this
love
is why I was
this.
Like, if there's any, like, I know you've been getting the physical editions of all of these.
Yes.
But if there's any comic to get the physical edition of, it is this one.
It's so good.
To mimic Batman's just spiraling and paranoia and losing his mind, we start to rotate the book.
Which I absolutely love here. It's just so well done.
I love that, like, and it's something only this medium can really establish. Like,
no, and even like, here, you know, they're going through again. I think here where he's not in too much of the psychosis as much, where he's still in it, but now he's trying to kind of ground himself. We spoke about that theme of grounding even in Black Mirror, where Dick talks about that a few times, and how, you know, saying your own name, reminding yourself who you are, where you come from. And this is where Batman's like, again, like, this is my city. It doesn't matter with all these villains, they're all the same, they're a bunch of cowards, you didn't even bother taking off my mask. Like, so in these pages with this side view, that's what he's talking about. And then he gets to the view of all the crypts. The coffins.
Yeah, there's all of these coffins, and they have like pictures of children, and so he's like trying to piece it together, and he's like every new answer he gets is like almost driving him more crazy, because he's like,
there's
what
more
does
questions.
This mean?
Yeah, more questions.
Or any lines that he can draw would just be so horrific that he's like, no, that can't be the case. Like.
And now anything he sees with Almas, because he keeps thinking it's the Court of Owls, like in the statue on the boat here, he just punches the shit out of it. He's like, I'm not listening to you. So he truly is like losing his mind here, unfortunately.
And then he finds himself once again walking back into the like because he's in a labyrinth and he's losing his mind. So of course he walks back into the same room with all of the pictures, and he sees that they've added a picture in the time that he's been gone and put up a new camera, and it is literally his picture that was like just like he was just there.
Yeah,
Like
he keeps saying how he's going. He's like, how am I in the same room again? Like he's going in circles. So yeah.
And then so like that's that part.
Yeah, which I love there, and then we see Martha and Thomas Wayne.
Yeah, he starts hallucinating his parents.
Which is such a shame here, and it's actually a really touching moment because I think out of all the craziness and they're showing him losing his mind here, this is when you know as a reader that like he's almost full gone. Because if he's seeing Martha and Thomas Wayne, then you really start to feel like a bit more emotional for Batman. Like you just feel so bad for him because you're. And then this is when it goes upside down, and you have to flip the book. So
like the entire book is upside down at this point, and then he gets basically attacked by like zombie versions of his parents.
Yeah, it literally shows like owls like ripping out of their body. It's actually really like this. I would say this part here is like a really gruesome panel. I guess gruesome is the best way. It has some blood, but it's really just more how they rip out of the bodies of Martha and Thomas and like start scratching at him. Which again is all in his head, but it does go back, back where he's again back at the owl fountain. He's like, "How the hell am I getting here? What's going on?" And again, Batman's in disbelief. He goes, "I invented all the tricks. There's no way like that they're gonna get through to me. This is my city." Like again, that's just.
And at some point, he's like lost his boots.
And yeah, I think he's barefoot.
And then he starts hallucinating his own feet as owl talons, and then his own fingers.
Yeah.
And like he's like clawing at the floor, and he finds this hole. And he's like, "I beat you. You hear me? I beat you." He jumps down this hole. Very Silent Hill 2.
Silent Hill 2. I can see that. Oh yeah, because this is the page you're talking about where his own picture's on the wall, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. That they literally just took of him.
It was in the other one as well.
There's multiple pictures. I didn't even notice that the first time.
Yeah, so this time he finds himself in the same room again. And then it turns out that there's several pictures of him, and he just absolutely loses it. And then Talon comes up behind him and stabs him.
Yeah, and where he stabs him, that looks like a pretty critical stab. I mean, honestly, the fact that he didn't just fall to the floor and almost give up right then and there is nothing but a miracle. That is a rough stab to come back from. And and again, just like the third time during this labyrinth where he's like, "I'm not listening to you," and he's screaming at the top of his lungs, and it's like they're in his head, kind of like what happened to Alan Wayne. And I think here's where we go back to the right side up.
Which also, that image of him getting stabbed, also very iconic. This next cover is also very iconic. Like,
this is my favorite. I was telling you how much I love that. Yeah, that looks crazy.
Yeah, the bat monster.
Bat owl monster thingy. The thingy.
And then he's just fully hallucinating. But then the honestly really emotional moment with Damian.
I know. I like this. That got to me too. The
bat signal burns out.
Yeah.
And
such a shame with Damian.
Damian's like, "Get a new one now." I said now.
Yeah.
Now, please.
He's like, "Now, please." Because Gordon and Harvey are talking to him, and they're like, "Oh, like," because he's looking at the melted out bat signal, and because it literally burned. It went on fire because it was on for too long. And then we see that iconic illustration going for the cover of the next issue with Chapter 6 Beneath the Glass.
Yeah, I love this so much.
No, me too. I can't get over it. Even the black and white version on the next page still looks good. Like, it doesn't look horrible there. So, I will say that the stab that he does to him in the first page of Chapter 6 doesn't look as gruesome as the stab shown in Chapter 5. It's like,
I think it's also just because it's snapping him out of his delirium.
Yes.
So like, although not fully because we see other things, but
right.
It's enough to where the comic is right side up again.
Yes. So I think physically showing that he's snapping out of it. Yes.
Yeah. So I think he probably initially saw it as much worse than it was.
Right.
And then now he's like, okay, like regaining his own mental composure. And Talon is just taunting him, like, "Your body will be displayed, your bones in the labyrinth forever." Just like going on and on. And he's like, and as he's going on, Bruce is like, "You moved the camera."
And then he just whacks him across the face. He goes crack and just whacks Bruce across the face with it.
He just uses it to just whack him. Talon uses it to hit Bruce.
Yeah, this almost most of the chapter is him having like this showdown with the Talon now. So
And
there's a
then
whole fight.
Talon lifts him up to the court, who's watching from above and being like, "I present
Yes.
you, Batman. How do you wish him to die?"
So I love this here because we're showing Bruce lying down and they're showing them blurred, as if we're looking at it through Bruce's eyes of how he at this point his eyesight is almost gone. He's been blinded for so long. He can barely see at this point.
And also, he's looking up directly at the fluorescent light to see past it.
To try to see.
So it's like
it's just a great lighting. I mean, again, the illustrators is the writing is so great, but the illustrations carrying this very hard, and I love it because it really touches base with the writing so hard. And of course, all of them freaking out, like bleed him, break his neck, take his feet,
and
then
Batman is like seeing them as owl monsters rather than just the people they are.
right. Even when they
he's
show them
still
later.
hallucinating.
Right, and then the little girl that goes, hurt him more. Just like,
Oh,
and
yeah,
then they're like, oh yeah, don't kill him, hurt him more.
Yeah, let the littlest decide. Let her choose.
And then
hurt him more.
at this point, the town's
Freaky.
really beating him into the wall. I mean, you can see the multiple indents in the wall. They're like, more, and it keeps going. And so this is like a crazy like final showdown where they think they killed Batman, and they're like, all right, towns, have your way at him. Which I'm assuming they've done this throughout history, where they are cannibals. They literally are eating their flesh and bones. Who knows?
I think he's just hallucinating.
He could be because they were gonna come at him now.
Because I don't think they eat people. Like
I wouldn't put it past them. There's always like this thing of rich societies, even in movies, where like they're cannibals. Like, is that what you do when you become a billionaire? Do you just decide to have human flesh? Like, I don't understand that storyline for billionaires.
I think he's just basically like, I think they're going to attack him more.
Right.
Like, and he's just losing it more and more to the point where he's seeing them as these monsters who are coming to rip him to shreds. And so, and like he's hallucinating their masks as like actual mouths and stuff.
Well, yeah, because they look like they have bent talons. So he's literally, the way he sees their arms and legs literally looks like owl talons. So yeah, I think he is still somewhat hallucinating, but I do think that there actually are coming.
Oh, he's very
him.
much hallucinating.
Yeah, but are they not actually coming towards him? It's confusing in this bit. I really don't know if that's.
Yeah, they're like, I think they're coming to attack him.
Yeah, they are, but the way he's seeing it is just hallucinating. Yes.
Yeah, and like that they're going to eat him, and I don't think so.
And then and then here, which I love, I love these like some of these one shots where like Batman is like, fuck this, I can't take it, and he's like, enough, and I love that he gets them all.
Before that, he sees Alan Wayne's face, the picture that was taken of him in the labyrinth.
Yes. I think that's what helps him snap out of it too.
Yeah, that's what finally triggers him to be like, enough. And in his like delirious hallucinating state, he becomes this giant bat monster.
Which I love. Like, and that the whole thing with Alan Wayne is that he sees his face like begging for help, for someone to help him, and Batman's like, I don't want to be that person, I need to help myself in this moment, and no one was there to help him in his last moments. So
and so the court members that were coming down. Yeah. Sorry, I cut you off.
No. Please continue with the section because I like how you're saying that there.
Like the court members that are coming down are just like, oh, run! He's still alive! Like freaking out and just scattering like cockroaches. And Talon is just like, oh, this fight's still going. Okay, cool.
He goes, the only thing I know is that I'm sick to death of the court of owls. He punches the shit out of him.
He's sick to death of owls.
Of owls in general, yes.
He's just smashing Talon.
Which,
and like,
we love to see it.
I love when Batman hallucinates in comics because they do some great stuff with it.
But
a lot of times he turns into some sort of bat monster.
Yeah. Like even in Black Mirror where he's in the harbor and he almost falls in and Tim has to save him. And then it's like the big orca. It's like, I'm coming to eat you up, Dickie. And then like Dick Grayson's like losing his mind. How they even show that just is so well done. So like, yeah, I absolutely love that. And of course we got Batman finally fighting back. So at this point in the story, I'm like, yeah, fuck. I was so hyped in this section where like he's finally coming back and just fucking this Talon up. I was like, yeah, get him. So from this point on, from chapter 5 like on, it flies by because there's so much of this happening. Like shit's gonna hit the fan real quick after this. So
oh, absolutely.
yeah,
And like he throws the Talon through the wall and into like this model version of the city, and it's just like almost like this kaiju fight.
Yeah.
Fighting above Gotham City.
Like it reminded me immediately of Power Rangers with the Megazord fighting like the giant monster. Yeah, literally. That's the first thing I thought with that. And I love seeing, and even the replica of the city, Batman makes fun of it. He was like, "This isn't my city. This is just some bullshit." He goes, "You're just a hired thug, a pawn. You don't even matter." He goes, "What you really are is finished." And I don't understand. I mean, I guess he killed him, kind of, quote unquote. But like,
well, he beat him unconscious.
Yeah, he beat him enough that he was done. The fight was over.
Yeah. And then he ends up back at the fountain, and
yes,
he's like, "You can't hide from me. I know this city down to its foundation." He's talking to the court at this point. He's like, "For example, I know that this place, the taste of the water in the fountain, the minerals, were near the river. And I know the base of your big ugly fountain, it's white marble, not construction marble, like the rest of this place. Which makes it softer, more vulnerable to, say, explosions. Do you know what explodes? Potassium chlorate when it ignites.
Which is in those cameras.
Which is why I slipped out the supply of filament plates from your camera before." And so he blows up the floor of the fountain room and drops into the caves below. But then he washes out into the harbor, but because it's like winter, the lake is frozen over.
Yeah, and unfortunately, yeah.
And it looks like he drowns. But
I thought that too because I was like
Batman.
I thought either he drowned or, unfortunately, even though he knocked out the Talon, that someone else in the Court of Owls brought him back to the labyrinth. So I thought he was caught. Because I was like, shit, he's either gonna die or they take him back. So that was my assumption.
What I'm guessing happened, because they don't really explain too much.
No, not really.
We just show him later on. I think he well, oh yeah. It's the other member of the Bat family that I know that you won't know. I'll explain it when we get there. Yeah.
That's okay. Yeah. So yeah, he has the frozen glass there. Well, it's not frozen glass. It's just a frozen river. It's literally frozen over.
Yeah.
It's winter there, and they actually show the Court of Owls here, which is good to see because up until this ending of chapter 6, where we know of them as figures. They're talking to them on the TV. We know them as more as like a ghost almost throughout how everyone in the city talks about them, and now we're getting to actually meet them. One of the much older members here, where she's like how thrilling that was and amazing gladiator that the Batman is. And then even with the Talon, how they just, even though they know he's going to heal up, that they just discard him, which I thought was interesting. Like, I guess showing like the ruthlessness of the Court of Owls, where like everyone here is
like, he won't heal the same. Like, just throw him out.
Yeah, because they said, well, she said not from that beating, because I guess he must have crippled him back. Batman is is pretty well known to go after broken bones. So that's
also we see that she's wearing this like elegant dress with this like feather boa,
and you can see how decrepit even her hand is. I hate that the illustration. I don't hate it. I love what Greg Capullo did. Is that he did a good job in illustrating how grotesque her hand is. It's disturbing. Yeah, he made it really grotesque, and I was like, oh shit! Like these people are not seeing sunlight at all.
But like you can tell, like even without the background of the court, you can tell that they are rich and powerful.
Oh yeah, 100%. 100. I mean, like where the hell is this labyrinth? That alone is probably over $1 billion. And then we get to chapter 7, the Talon Strike. But she says
that they are going to wake them up, wake them all up, and it
all
shows
of them,
all
the Crips. So this is where we come to find out a bit more that the Talon was one of them, and that being kind of like in a resurrection, if you will. But they do explain a bit more of how that happens with the chemical compound in their body. So that's where we start in chapter 7.
Well, first we start with a flashback.
Yep.
Which is that moment that I was talking about before, where the blasts through the window, and Bruce is like, that's going to be my symbol.
Yep.
The part they add on to it is as you turn the page, we see that bat that flew through gets caught and killed by an owl.
Eaten by the owl. So that's where it did make me think that at this point, again, we don't know if Batman was recaught by the Court of Owls. Maybe they brought him back, that he died, that someone else got him in time. So I felt like he was still going through the psychosis here, that because he's still, even harkening back to when he became Batman, now he's seeing an owl come and destroy him. Like that, it's still trying to, bring down his mental state. So
it could be. I think that was just Scott adding a bit more to the mythos of the owls into that original scene, because we don't see what happens to the bat after it flies away in the original, like in any versions of the original scene. So,
but he sees it here at this point. Maybe he doesn't. No,
I don't think he sees it. I think this is just like for us, the reader.
Oh, okay. But then, go ahead.
But yeah, he gets Batman gets woken up by a car battery.
I thought that was like she was trying to do like a defibrillator, but it was like literally
that is what she was doing.
Literally what she was doing. And then let's Google this person because Harper is apparently Bluebird.
Yeah, Harper Row.
Yeah, so apparently another one of the Bat family that is Bluebird, which I did not know about, so I googled her.
She is Alfred's niece.
Oh, okay, that's cool.
Yeah, so she doesn't show up a whole ton, and honestly, she's not very well used when she does. Again, the Bat family is a lot bigger than people think it is.
Yeah, no, that's why I didn't know either. I was like, ooh, who is this?
There's a lot of like rotating side cast members that come in and out, and Harper Row is one of them.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and this is the. I don't know if she appeared in like maybe like a Detective Comics or like another side Batman book while this was running, or if this is just the first time that we see her in this universe.
Right.
But she has a history with Batman where he's like, I told you already, leave me alone. But they don't explain enough to where it's like, it doesn't seem like it's her first appearance. So like, I don't know. She's another blind spot.
Yeah,
for me.
I don't know
like a whole ton about her.
No, that's okay. Yeah, I mean, no, we don't have to go into an explanation about that because I know there's still lots to cover. But it was just good seeing her, and like that's just more that she seems to be like tech mechanics type of person as well. So I just googled her real quick, but it didn't say much. And then we get into
because there's not much to say.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So no, yeah, we didn't have to get into that background. That's fine.
She's only appeared in a handful of times. Like,
but I do like in the next page here where I guess how they're actually showing how they awaken them. So it seems to be some injection.
There's a whole breakdown of like how they bring the Talons back.
Yep.
And talking about like bringing them back from the dead.
Yeah, like literally the Greek river.
Cup of Immortality.
The Greek river of dead, the river Lethe, which is like the river of the dead, or the river of mindlessness as they call it. But that's how they used to resurrect. How the mythos of resurrecting them, right? So that, of course, that's not any of that being real, but of course, Batman will get into later how that is truly happening. And how they're kind of preserving the bodies and able to just kind of resurrect them when they need to, because as you do find out, the real Talons age later too. So,
also we are past halfway in this book, and people are like, "Oh my god, how long is this?"
no, we are past halfway. Where we are in chapter 7, and again, like from chapter 5 on, it does fly by. So, we won't even. I don't even think we'll be much longer with the podcast, honestly, because a lot of this is going to be more of like final battles and coming to revelations.
Yeah.
So. Of course, here we see with Alfred finding Bruce, which is great. That answers my question because we're like, when we saw like the frozen river, we're like that he died, that the Court of Owls take him back, and he actually did escape. And we know from Harper that he did as well. But again, because it's a 2-page shot, it's just more of like, does she find him at the edge of the frozen river? Like, how the hell does she even find him? They kind of just skip over a lot of that, and she resurrects him, or like, Jumper charges him, whatever, with Jumper cables.
Yeah, Alfred mentions here like, when I saw the hole in the ice, I'd concluded that you'd climbed out of the harbor yourself.
Oh, she pulled him out. Okay, so she pulled him
out.
Okay,
and then he was like, it was someone else. So like Harper found him on at the edge of the harbor.
Oh, okay. So from the whole, okay, I'm sure I read that part. I must have just forgot about it for my outline, but okay. So that
Yeah,
she
I don't
brings
know
him out in
why
the
she
hall.
was out there, but
Right, just randomly like, hey, he might be dying. Let me just search a frozen lake, frozen river, actually.
but just that moment of him just like breaking down at the gate, and like Alfred's like, "Who are you?" and and pointing the shotgun at him because Alfred has a lot of guns. um,
Oh yeah, I mean he knows how to protect. It's so funny because like you don't mess with Alfred. Like he knows how to protect himself.
there,
And
as Alfred has said, there are too many guns in Wayne Manor for Bruce to find them all.
and even here, we still see he's recovering from the psychosis from losing his
I
mind. He sees the suit and he freaks out. He's like, no, like because
oh yeah,
and Alfred sees it as well, trying to calm him down. And Alfred's probably one of the few people that he would ever even let him see where he's in this so vulnerable of a state.
Oh, and here's Alfred explaining how they got how Harper found Batman. Because Harper's another tech character.
Mm.
And she uses like tasers usually when she fights. But like when Batman broke out of the labyrinth, he like the labyrinth had some sort of like dampening thing around it.
Okay.
So like signals couldn't get out. So when he got out of there, it sent out a shortwave signal from his suit, for people to come rescue him. And Harper picked up on that first.
Okay. So that's why.
Yeah, because Alfred says we discovered his body in the frozen water near the spot we detected the short beacon from your suit.
Oh, so. Oh, but him. Okay, but how they brought him back? Yeah, because that's the actual talent because they dumped the talent into the same river that he swam out of, the same hole that he exploded into the floor.
Yeah.
So they found the talent and just. So I guess technically they found the talent first and then just happened to find Bruce.
Because Harper had already grabbed Bruce.
Yeah. So then it was that same hole. Okay, I must have just forgotten about that. And then of course, this is typical, just like how they mention it in Black Mirror as well, the dealer when he's talking to the crowd in Harbor House, and just more of like how like they're gonna take over the city, and that they're in full control, and then they're like, look upon his image, he has just now journeyed up from the underworld, and he still has returned. Like they're very grandiose in the way that they talk.
He's weak, and we're rising stronger while they're also suiting up this new talent.
Yeah, they're basically rallying all these new talent, like the hundreds of talents they just woken up to be like, he may have gotten up, but we've resurrected you even stronger and faster than him. You can defeat him. Like trying to basically give him this very like propaganda type of speech. And then Nightwing, of course, comes in again, even though Alfred keeps telling him not to go down there. But he just comes in again anyway.
It's because Dick understands Bruce better than anyone.
Yeah, he doesn't give a shit. Yeah, he's like, I'm going down there regardless.
And
his face looks crazy too, the Talon's face.
And you can see Batman is just like getting more ragged. Like he's growing like a little beard, and he's like he should be resting, but he's not.
As per usual. And I actually like the Talon's face. They made him look like. They just made him look like that. Yeah. It's kind of funny. Yeah.
Yeah, and he's a handsome guy, and that's for a reason. But Batman discovers that there was this chemical running through his blood with this metal called Electrum, which allows him to come back to life. Electrum comes into play multiple times throughout Scott Snyder's Batman run. It was created by Scott. He creates 3 separate metals that end up having some sort of reference, and like the reason why the event that he does at the end of everything is called Dark Knight's Metal is due to these metals. So.
Oh no, I wasn't sure if you were gonna say more. I'm sorry. I was waiting for you to finish.
Yeah, no, it's the one that you were talking about before. That's at the end of the book.
Yeah, that's his
That
Dark Knight's
major
Metal.
event.
Oh, so you're saying
Yeah.
it's from that comic?
Well, this is sowing the seeds of what leads into that.
Oh, okay.
So this is like the first time we see one of the metals. There's also
And that metal
Dionysium.
that metal pops
There's
up
also
in that comic, in the Dark Knight's Metal.
yeah.
Oh,
For
okay,
some
okay.
reason, Scott likes to create metals that end up being plot relevant for big things later down the road.
I actually like it here because I explained the Electrum and what's actually going into their bodies, and how that the owl insignia that's on the tooth that we saw in John Doe, he also has it, and that releases it into your body over a long period of time, and it basically helps you to regenerate your cells through heat generation. So that's why, like, again, where Batman was so. And up until this point, you're reading the story, but now it makes you think of how cold the actual labyrinth was, especially that those bodies are in those coffins. And so not only with the flashes, being beaten and stabbed, you're also being almost frozen to death, and then escaping into the frozen lake. So, like, it's something where the cold stops the heat regeneration, and it puts them into basically like a catatonic, almost like a cryogenic state, I guess is the best way to put it.
And something that gets revealed about the Electrum later on, not in this comic, but later on in the New 52, is that it's related to Dionysium, which is the chemical in the Lazarus pit.
Oh, that makes a lot of sense, though. I mean, because the regeneration here is very intense. I mean, because this is where we find out the Electrum, and when Batman's talking to Dick, that when he fell from the tower and Batman landed on the 13th Guardian, and he hit that car, not only did he survive it, it's not like he got up like hours later. That had to be like 15 minutes because he was still riding in the ambulance and he killed them. So this is just to show you how powerful this Electrum is in their veins, how it's making them almost like invincible. They're almost being immortal to resurrect and just recover from such a fall like that. So that's why they were saying, he's going to live.
Electrum is not quite as powerful as Dionysium. I forget what the exact like comparison between the two is, but again, it's all Scott made all of it. Like,
right?
I mean, this is one of those things where it's like, this is on Scott.
yeah. I mean, if I read that later, I'll definitely like to see the comparison as well. But this is the reason that they're alive there, and that freezing them is the way to stop them. And that's why they said, the older lady in the Court of Owls, and she was like, he will recover, but just not the same way from that beating, because he will. They just basically don't die, and the only reason right now he's pumping in some type of colder fluid into him to keep him frozen, so the Talon doesn't wake up. But then other revelation, God knows what number we're on right now, but there's multiple. Yeah. His name being William Cobb,
and he is Dick Grayson's great grandfather.
So then Dick is not fazed by much, but here we do see like a crash out. And it's something that he's like, what am I supposed to do? Like, you telling me that he was some criminal that has nothing to do with me? You raised me, you know how I am. And then, in the middle of him yelling that, he's like, if you think that's going to faze me, then frankly, you don't know me at all. Cracks it. I'm not gonna lie, I laughed because, like, Batman cracks the shit out of him. He hits him so hard, his wisdom tooth. You know how hard you have to hit someone? Like, typically when you punch someone, you could easily probably knock out someone's tooth, but to knock out their wisdom tooth? Because that owl...
Well, it's one of his molars, but yeah.
Oh, yeah, because I thought the owl insignia was, like, in the far back teeth. No, is it not?
Well, it's a back molar.
It's a back molar?
It's not quite wisdom tooth, but it's like...
And then, of course, Batman being as efficient and precise as he is, that of all the teeth he knocks out the one with the owl insignia. So, 2 revelations back-to-back in 2 pages, where not only is that his great-grandfather, so not only is it Alan Wayne with the Wayne bloodline, but also seeing in the Dick Grayson bloodline. Now we're seeing...
That Dick was supposed to be a Talon.
Dick was supposed to be a Talon, because he had that Electrum going through his body. Which, in hindsight, I guess Bruce should have left it there, because Dick would have been invincible, but he knocked it out, but whatever. Because Dick would have had Electrum running through his body forever. He would have been infinite Batman.
And he talks about how Haley's circus was kind of the which is the circus that the Flying Graysons were a part of.
Right. And that the Talons were recruiting them, basically.
Yeah.
Sorry,
it was essentially a recruiting ground for Talons.
Yeah, so he was supposed to be one of them. And that's why when we have here, when he killed the trainer, the John Doe, that Dick was supposed to be next in line, so technically Dick would have eventually have killed this William Cobb person to take over as a Talon. But I guess now
And
the Court of Owls is like, fuck it, there's no single Talon, there's all Talons.
and we don't see William Cobb again in this in this comic.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not really a spoiler for this comic. William Cobb is not dead. He does come back later on. And at one point he is even a member of the Bat family as Talon.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah.
And staying with Talon?
Yeah.
You think Bruce would be so traumatized he wouldn't want that.
It's a weird dynamic between him and Dick, because Dick is like, you are my great grandfather, but
You're also trying to kill Bruce, yeah.
well, also you look like you're 30. Like
yeah, my god, yeah, because he looks so young, it's insane.
And they have like this weird family connection. It doesn't necessarily get explored a whole lot, but it is enough to be an interesting little footnote later on.
I will say it's kind of funny because even when they're showing, they take off the mask finally, showing the Talon's face. I think the illustrator did this on purpose, where he looks like he just has like a bunch of plastic surgery, like to, I guess, simulate that he's older but also young.
He's supposed to look like a superhero.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm pretty sure they were planning this.
Yeah, and then and even here, like I love all these conversations with Dick and Bruce. It's always they're the most like real, it's the most genuine conversations. And this is where, again, for like the 4th or 5th time in this comic, where Batman's like, where typically he's like, it's my city. Here he's being more cynical, where he's like, they showed me in the labyrinth the real Gotham, the Gotham out there that is a city of birds, a city of owls, and that's a stranger and enemy even to himself. And then this is where, again, showing the Nightwing like text box, where it's like, he goes, "They're not Gotham City, Bruce, and neither are you." And even when he said that, now they, I guess slight spoilers, we're gonna get to it anyway, but I just laughed because they ended the book with this, literally like the last page of the Court of Owls says Gotham City is all of us. And even at this part when Nightwing says it, I said the same thing. I was like, yeah, it's neither of you, it's all of us. Like I thought that was obvious, but I guess they had to say it at the end of the book and like actually say it out directly. But yeah, so I said the same thing to myself. I was like, Gotham City is everyone, it's not just you. So yeah, so they show the Talons getting ready.
Yeah, we get the reveal of the army of Talons, and then jumping out of the balcony to...
That looks pretty cool. Both page double page spread here looks nice. This is just the cover of the next issue, but
yeah,
because now we're on chapter 8, Attack on the Wayne Manor, where it gets way too crazy at this point. Very, very much of like, wow, like this is gonna be almost battles till the very end, until the last page. So, we have him there. He's talking to Alfred, and then he hears something, and it's like this loud thump that seems to be coming from the roof. Alfred's like, I'll go to the cave, and he's like, he activates his lens to see what he can see, how many of them there are, if it's just one intruder, multiple intruders, because they hear someone trying to get in. They do this in a lot of the books, but I think Black Mirror does it too, but what are these like random, why is there like intermission pages? Like, what is that supposed to be?
Honestly, I'm not sure.
Oh, okay, because I see that multiple times. I'm like, what is that for?
Yeah, they and it's just this issue, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, okay, because I think in Black Mirror they have these little, not this page specifically, but like these interim pages. I guess maybe it's just a thing with Batman. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
No, yeah, it was a random thing that stuck out to me.
Yeah, we see Alfred and Bruce scrambling to get to battle stations, essentially.
Yeah, because they see they're coming.
We start seeing the Talons coming through and getting into all the all of the secret entrances and such.
Yeah, because it's not even just breaking through the windows, coming through the roof. It's like almost all the entrances. So that this is where Batman's like, I need to retreat to the one entrance that they may have not gotten to yet before they do get down there. And Alfred, I think, is already... And Alfred's already down there, yeah.
Yeah. So we get this cool double page splash of one of them busting through the wall who has like a mechanical talon.
Yeah, so like they seem to have different like equipment now than the original Talon.
Yeah, they wanted to vary up the...
But he didn't even hit Bruce. Bruce completely just like... Bruce was like, parry! Just like bounces to the side.
He grabs a statue and just whacks him.
Yeah, my guy, like, they're getting some good hits on him, but he's actually doing pretty well at, like, kind of fending them off. And then I do love that at one point when it shows Alfred and one of the Talons going, hoo, like, trying to sound like an owl, and he comes down, and he's like, "Sir, you need help. I can." He's trying to help him, and then he's like, "Oh shit, one of the Talons is coming down to where Alfred is," and he goes to hide. So, we see some more sequences of him being attacked. He's on the roof, which is the visual at the beginning of the issue. He's on the roof fighting all of them, and then there's. And then I actually laughed at this because it just reminds me of like Santa Claus. He slides through the fucking chimney and ends up in the Batcave, and it's like like I would be so scared to slide in that chimney. Like they actually show the narrowness in the illustration of like this chimney leading to this Batcave. Like what if you just get stuck in there? That looks crazy. It is insanely narrow. I guess no one's to follow after him, and I think some of them do because they're pretty skinny themselves. I think it shows them taking the same path. And then, of course, we're like...
No, they try to, but it locks behind him.
Oh, it does. You're right. It locks. It had a locked door. So then I love confronting the Talon where, in a few pages ago, we're like, okay, this Talon, get Alfred. I think they're trying to trick the reader into thinking that something happened to Alfred already. Which, at this point, I'm like, oh, no, please, not Alfred. And then, of course, they're talking, this giant fucking penny just falls on this Talon and crushes him.
The lucky penny.
My God, he goes, "Your lucky penny, sir." I love Alfred so fucking much.
Which has a double meaning with Alfred Pennyworth.
Oh yeah! Oh my God! Duh! Right? Alfred Pennyworth. Jesus Christ. And then even the one where this guy gets smashed on, I guess his mask comes off, and they all look like models. I don't know. They look crazy. So the real Talon,
I think this one was a lady.
Oh, was it? Oh, was it? Okay.
I think so.
I wasn't sure if they have any women that were Talons. Okay, that's cool. And then of course we still have the original Talon that's still just hooked up onto the wires there. But it looks like that they cut the wires off to probably take him back because they cut the wires feeding him that freezing liquid. But I don't think that's Bruce that does it. I think it's one of the Talons that cut it, or what it looks like. Unless I'm like
it's one of the Talons. And they're just like flooding into the Batcave, and Bruce and Alfred manage to get to like a safe area where Alfred can control things.
Yes. Yeah. So there seems to be a control sensor that seems to be cut off from the rest of the Batcave, and here's where they come up with the idea because of how they're doing with the original Talon. Let's lower the temperature enough to kind of sedate them and put them back into their catatonic state. So then the electrum in their cells will not work anymore because they're heat generated. But still, out of all the things that I love with him getting kicked through the tower, with him, with the Batman owl like monster change and that illustration, this is my absolute favorite. It's my number one, where he's just like, "Get the hell out of my house." He's like,
I love the line before it where he's like, "Don't worry about me, Alfred. I'm sure I've got something warm in here."
And I love that he even goes into explanation of like, that.
God,
it's
called the Ripper suit.
Good. I didn't know what it was called because I was like, "Ooh, he has a Batmech," but like it looks like a Megazord, and he basically explains that he can survive on alien planets due to extreme temperatures or cold because of the Justice League, most likely. But then
so one thing that not just Scott, but like just in New 52 Batman tends to do quite a bit is build these insane suits of armor for very specific occasions. One comic that I know we'll get to eventually.
Yes.
But it's near the end of the New 52 run. Batman has to fight the Justice League.
Oh, and yeah.
He has a suit called the Justice Buster. Where
because he has a file and has to feed all of them.
Where he basically gets into this big mech suit that has it has all of the weaknesses of the Justice League inside of it. So there's this like artifact for Wonder Woman to make her like hallucinate. There's it can go as fast as the Flash. It can it has a bunch of different gadgets and tech inside of it to be able to counter the Justice League. There's also at one point Batman goes to Apokolips to straight up storm Darkseid 1v1, and he uses a suit called the Hellbat suit, which is one of my favorites. It's this really cool black and red suit that he can't use for long because it runs on his own metabolism and will drain his life force if he wears it for too long. But he just storms Apocalypse and takes on Darkseid. Like, because Darkseid has a gem that he can use to revive Damian, who had died.
Oh wow! Yeah, that's why I love seeing things like this, because I know there's much more lore behind it. But yeah, with this Batmech here, he just makes a more short explanation here that it helps him survive on alien planets. But I do like more of the sarcastic feel to it. It's sarcasm, but I guess more like anger in his voice, where he's like, "This suit that I use for extreme cold, extreme heat to survive on alien planets, I have to use it here in my own house." So he's pissed. Batman's like in anger mode because he's like, out of all the places, I have to use it here, and he's like, "Get the hell out of my house!" And that's the this cover for Chapter 9, which I like there too.
Yeah.
But yeah, sorry, nothing beats that end of Chapter 8 for me. That's my number one in this whole comic. I love. It's like, get the fuck out!
I love the Ripper suit. It's one of his coolest looking suits.
And just the way he comes out with like, "You're in my house, bitch. Like, we're not doing this."
And like he's just throwing them around. There's this really cool double page splash.
Yes, and yep, that's the very beginning of Chapter 9 there.
I can't really see it too well because of the lighting, but he's just throwing them around.
Yes.
He pops out batarangs, like energy batarangs, out of his arm, and just
which I love. It's like that. This whole like scene here with his Ripper suit is absolutely amazing, and it's something where, again, for those in case we had skipped over it, he's basically just trying to buy time for Alfred to lower the temperature needed to stop them. So it's just taking a bit. It's not even long. I think it's like a minute or two, but this is like the longest 60 seconds of his life.
Yeah. People don't realize that when fights happen, they happen real quick.
Yeah, fights are happening real quick. So like
30 seconds even is a very long time in a fight.
Yeah, and the whole time Alfred's nervous. This is where you really see where it almost gets a bit emotional of how Alfred feels for Bruce and how much he wants to protect him. He still sees him as that little kid when his parents passed away, and it's just like
the Talons are starting to get the upper hand. They got bigger weapons. They're using their like mechanical talons and starting to rip the suit apart.
Yeah,
and if they Alfred's getting scared.
And if they get into the suit, I mean, he's like the Talons could survive that temperature, but you won't. He's like, you're gonna freeze to death. So like I think he's trying to save him here, and you can really see how Alfred's just really like almost in desperation mode, trying to really call out to Master Bruce.
Yeah.
And as the Talons, of course, keep goading him, like, nothing, your barriers, all you Waynes do is run for your life. So typical, that's how it's been throughout the years. And then we get, which I think I've seen the animated series at one point. I don't know if it's like a Mandela effect. I've had to have seen it somewhere. But this Fido thing, this T-Rex activating happened, right, at some point?
This has happened a few times, yeah.
That's what I'm saying. I was like, I don't remember where I saw it, though.
The T-Rex is actually a robot.
Yes. Activate Fido.
Like, there's even in Dark Knight's Metal and Dark Knight's Death Metal, you see a bunch of variations of Batman throughout the multiverse. All of them evil, but
okay.
One of which being Batman's body died, but he uploaded his consciousness into the T-Rex.
That's insane. What the fuck?
So there's just a Bat T-Rex going around.
I love that that is insane. Batman dinosaur mode. I would love to see that.
He activates that and
then
starts stomping out.
Crush. And then they're like, "You think that will stop us? We've had enough of your little parlor tricks." And bam, and they're all getting sliced up. But then they're also about to kill Bruce. So Alfred's still freaking out. He's like, "Your vital signs, or you're about to black out." And then Alfred's like, "No, I'm coming to help you. You're about to die." And he goes, "No, override armory doors, locked down." Like, and then this here, I think, is to make the reader think like, "Oh shit, Bruce is gonna actually die here."
And at the start of this sequence, Batman has this internal monologue where he's thinking about the history of Gotham, and like there was an overabundance of bats. So what they did was they sent in the owls to cull the population of the bats.
Ah, yes, we did. We probably skipped over that, yeah.
And the bats, So they had sent the owls in to call the bats, and it
Yes.
seemed like it was all done, and the owls left, but then the bats came back, and there's this swarm of bats that just comes in from the caves, and we get Bruce having this like as the bats are just ripping the talons apart. um Bruce gets up and he's like, the bats had hidden deeper in the caves, in the darkest parts the owls couldn't tolerate, and when the bats came back, it was with a vengeance.
And then, like,
And
literally, like, always vengeance with the Batman, right? He's like, I am vengeance, blah, blah, blah.
mm-hmm.
So then, and then it shows...
like, the talons are starting to drop because of the temperature, but also they're getting, like, just ripped up by the
T-Rex.
the bat.
Oh, but the bats
And
now,
then,
too. But even this... Well, while you're talking about it, like, just showing that there were all the bats flying in behind him, like, literally hundreds of them. Like...
just a full swarm.
It is insane. They are fucking them up. Like, you have no idea how hyped I was reading this whole, like, section. Like...
And then one of them was right about to escape. and suddenly the Batmobile just comes blasting down with Batman in it.
His ass over.
And just runs him over. He's like, he's got a healing factor. Let him heal.
Yeah, because there's, like, one of them is headed for the bridge. Nope. And then, of course, we see... And then, you know, what I like here, too, is that as... they keep showing the time here. So I think... And they've been, like, 30, 40-minute increments. So now we're at Night of the Owls, 8:36 p.m. He's in the Batmobile, and he's actually calling out to the Bat family. And because they had the list of names from the court of... So what they showed, basically, in the cave there... We were doing more of a summary there, but there was a part where Alfred... As Bruce is fighting, and you know Bruce is in the middle of a battle, so he doesn't really have time to really process it. But he's telling him, he goes, "Oh my God, sir! All of the city's figureheads are on this list for their hit list. All of them. The ones in green are the ones that they still have yet to get to. I think in red means they killed them, and then I think there was blue as well. There's different colors on there, but it was
There's red means that they're already dead. Green means that they're targeted but safe. Blue means that they're already being helped by other members of the Bat family.
Yes, and that's why he reached out to all of them for. So like now I love this shot here of, you know, seeing with Damian, Batgirl, and and Nightwing there. Sorry, I was like, wait, who was that? Nightwing, and they're all fighting the Talons as well. Like the hundreds. So like
also,
they're still out there.
The Talons had just to be petty, had swapped out the bat signal for an owl signal.
I saw that with the fucking owl signal. I was like, are you kidding me? But yeah, so it is something where these Talons, you know, even though there were hundreds, they didn't send all of them to Wayne Manor. Like whoever he froze in there were just the ones that came after him, because you could see that the Bat family's still fighting some of the other ones in the city. These are the towns that are going after the other members on that list. And then of course now
the only names that are still green are Jeremiah Arkham and Lincoln March.
Yep, and there goes. And now we harken back to Lincoln March, and it shows that he actually shot one of the Talons because he had an armor-piercing bullet. It was smart. So he couldn't actually defend that, because I was like, whoa, Lincoln March actually defeated a Talon? Like, what the fuck?
They make it look like he's about to shoot Batman. Like... But no, there was a Talon hiding behind the door.
I went back in my chair and like almost knocked down my green screen. Okay. I was like, let's not do that. Yeah, so they show the Talon there, and as soon as he opens it, the Talon's just already on the floor, but he has that knife right in the middle of his chest there.
Yeah, and he has a message for Bruce Wayne.
Yes.
And he's like, no, here, take this. And he's like bleeding out, and Batman's like, the more you talk, like, oh, uh-oh.
What happened? What did I do? What happened?
Oh, okay, so it's not showing up on your stream, but on my side...
It's fine?
No,
it did... Oh, there it goes, yeah. It, for whatever reason, maybe it's timed, I don't know.
I lost visual.
I didn't click anything. Okay. I just stopped and started the virtual camera again. It seems fine now.
Fair enough.
No, thank you for saying that. I would not have even noticed that. Thank you.
Yeah, no, I just entirely lost visual. I was like, what?
No, thank you.
I was like, oh god, did the stream go down? Wow.
I thought that's what it was at first. I was like, wait, we're still alive. Okay. No, go ahead. You were saying with the note from Lincoln March?
He's like, I have a message for Bruce Wayne, and he's like, I'm dead, but please tell him to fight them. The city is worth it. It can be a good place. Remind him that a better Gotham is just one dream, and he dies.
And that's exactly what he said in his presentation at the beginning, like being one dream away, right? So he says, Master Bruce, the towns have been contained. I have news on the other assassination attempts as well, and that's where, now we're seeing more of the Bat family trying to help with the other assassination attempts, and we go to Chapter 10, Assault on the Court. So now, what I like with
another iconic cover.
Yes, and before we even go into Chapter 10, because I didn't want to skip that last page because it's so good and it got me hyped as well, going to the last, there's only 11 chapters, so we're in the last 2 right now, and the last thing he says, he goes, and Alfred's like, what are you going to do? And he goes, they came to my house, now I'm going to burn theirs to the ground, because he is pissed that they came to Wayne Manor. So, Chapter 10 and 11, like, it just gets more and more hype, because you're like, oh shit, he's going to find them. So, like, and I love that because they basically are giving Batman, like, owl wings.
Yep.
Which is...
And so...
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Oh, no, you go ahead.
Oh, no, I was just going to say, I was like, it's cute, but I think, like, Batwings just fit him more. Like, this picture, I think they were trying to do an owl-bat, like, combination. I don't really like the image, honestly, but it was just, it was for symbolism, so that's okay.
Well, I think it's supposed to be an owl coming at him.
Yeah, so. Yeah, and it just doesn't translate well combined with him, but that's okay. Like, go ahead. So, like, now we're in Chapter 10.
So now we see one of the court members that we saw earlier, but without her mask and going into her apartment, and it's just entirely ransacked, and she realizes that she's trapped in there because of her elevator. Just the bars locked up around her, and Batman's there. And
lock that bitch up. He is. Yep. I love this. He's being petty right now. Super petty. He is over
she's
it.
Like, you can't be in here. I'm calling. And he holds up a mask, and she's like, that's not. She's like, that's not my husband's. And he's like, no, I know it's yours. His isn't here because he's out there.
Yep. She tried it.
And she's like still trying to threaten him, and it's just not working. and then we see this panel, which I'm pretty sure is a callback to Black Mirror.
Which one?
But of Batman diving out of the tower.
Oh yeah, and then he's like swoops right back up. Yeah, I actually love that.
It's the same angle that of him diving out of the spire.
Oh, okay. Oh, it is. Oh, wow, I didn't even see that.
Mm-hmm.
And again, like,
so, like,
yes.
Yeah, I think it's a callback. But
yes, and for anyone that why he's even attacking her, because I thought he was gonna go in and just like find each of them one by one. But the whole point was that because he didn't do anything to her, he just basically left her there. He's like, good luck, you're gonna stay stuck there, and he left her. He's just being petty. Was that he knew she would call someone to help her. And that most likely calling the husband, the one that's out there in the Court of Owls, and she did, and he was able to tap into her phone. But it's as Alfred says, it's in a blackout zone. So he's like, I can only give you a general area, but we don't know exactly where he is.
And using that general area, Batman realizes exactly where it is, and it is the Harbor House that he went to when he was a kid.
Yep. And the same harbor house that's in Black Mirror where everyone died in a fire.
Also, he mentions a name that
Henry.
You might vaguely recognize because it was used in Batman Begins, but it was a very different character. Henry Ducard.
Mm-hmm. Is like the first detective. Yeah.
He is the detective that Batman trained under, when he was like off on his own, getting all the skills to become Batman.
Right.
He is the one he got his detective skills from, and he's very much like his mentor. Henry has shown up several times throughout Batman's history. He's not exactly a great guy, but like he's also he's not like a villain, so it's like,
Right.
um,
You take the good with the bad. No one's all good
yeah.
or all bad. You know, it is what it is.
In Batman Begins, that was the name that Liam Neeson used before revealing himself to be Ra's al Ghul.
Oh, he used Henry Ducard.
Yeah.
Oh my God, he did. I didn't even think about that, honestly.
So I didn't know when I watched it because I was a kid, but
Right.
later on, now looking back, it's like, oh, that's what they were doing. Okay.
So, but I honestly love this because I just love that you kind of get that satisfaction that he was right all those years ago, and I knew he kind of was. I was like, something had to be up there, and they locked you in there, and they just happened to be on your trail because you were a kid. You didn't have what this technology you have now as Batman, to be kind of like a few steps ahead of them, where they were too far ahead of him as a kid, but now he caught them, but they're all dead there. Where it's like it looks like poisoning from whatever wine glass they drink. I mean,
this big page of just all of the owls.
Love
dead.
that dining room angle because it just creates like how long this table is, how many of them are there, and like that cult thing where they all drink together to poison themselves and go to heaven and meet God or whatever. So
hold on, I'm gonna try something real quick. Hold on one second.
Oh sure. Is everything okay?
Yeah. I'm let me see if this works. I should look a little clearer. I'm hoping this holds. But it should allow me to show off more details here.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Oh, especially on the right page too. The right page looks more clear.
I upped the quality of my camera. I've had it on medium 720 since we had those like technical issues. So I just upped it to 900.
Oh, okay. Just have yeah, that's okay to have high quality. Yeah.
So hopefully it holds. If it doesn't hold, I'll knock it back down, but we'll see. But it should be better for me showing off these pages.
But yeah, so we get that he's there too late, and he's just pissed at himself because he goes, "Damn you, not again!" And basically harkening back to when he was a kid, where they were 10 steps ahead of him back then, and they were still ahead of him now. And of course, that's not the whole court of owls. That's maybe a good amount of them.
Yeah, no, the court is massive.
Them. Yeah, like, it's massive.
We don't even see the whole court in this book. Like,
and we go back to Alfred at Wayne Manor with Bruce. He's still recovering. He's supposed to go to some meeting, but he's like, I'm not going to go to that because I just remembered the note that Lincoln March had given him, where it says, "Follow me down the rabbit hole." And he finally figures out where that could be, and of course that sensor of that signal and where that's coming from. He goes, the one behind. He goes, Alfred's like, "Who are you going after, Master Bruce?" And he goes, "The one behind it, the one I forgot."
Mm-hmm.
And then it goes back to the orphanage that Lincoln March was talking about. He goes back there because the creaky floors.
Back to the sinkhole. That was
literally the sinkhole. Yeah.
It's everything that March had been talking about since the beginning. Yes. Mentioning the sinkhole, mentioning everything under like.
So March is throwing some hints.
Yeah,
March is throwing multiple hints here at this point.
The orphanage, the Willowwood home for children, just everything was leading to this location.
Yes, no, 100%, and it's just like I love how they go more into the background. Again, we're explaining that Gotham is a sinkhole, but then they also found out, I guess, once they ran out of funding, that they were actually abusing the children at this facility. So that's why some of I think of Gotham's criminals came from this orphanage as well. Mm. So because of the abuse that they endured when they couldn't afford it anymore, and it was probably just a front to begin. I mean, they probably were abusing them even when they had the money. It probably was just a front to begin with. Then of course, boom, he gets netted.
Yeah. As Batman's going through, he's like, "I'm here to catch a dead man," and immediately the net just comes out of the shadows and wraps him up.
Yes,
and in the shadow, he's like, "Tell me, Batman, who am I?"
He says this like 5 times, so to really bring home the owl thing of the hoo, he says it a whole lot.
As the big reveal, I don't know, but you're not Lincoln March, because Lincoln March doesn't exist
Yep.
He's a paperman set up by the Court of Owls.
And I was right. I was like, I don't trust Lincoln. I was like, Lincoln is. I was like, I knew something was off with him. I don't kind of trust it even when he died at the end there. I was like, maybe because I was like, he defeated a talent so easily, and then he had the knife. He had the knife in him. All that. I was like, something is not right. So okay, so I was actually happy for myself. I was right about it.
Lincoln March, specifically in this comic, not really in any others, but specifically in this comic, is one of my favorite Batman villains.
Oh, okay.
And, like, we'll get more into detail on why, like, after he reveals his whole thing. But, like, so, up until now, for the entire post-crisis era, the only Owlman to exist was the one on Earth 3 with the Crime Syndicate. Which was like an evil version of the Justice League that ruled over this planet. And so it had like Ultraman and Superwoman and Owlman and like all of these just evil versions of the Justice League. And so this is our first introduction to an Owlman in the main continuity universe.
And explaining it completely, yeah.
And the fact that he's tied in like seamlessly with the Court of Owls. I love how he shows up. I love everything that he can do. Like I don't know, just something about this character has like resonated with like, oh, I really like this.
Oh no, yeah, that's why I didn't trust it from the beginning, but I did like the character. It's just, I mean, everything's portrayed very well, and even like the multiple revelations back to back with how far it goes with the Waynes and with Dick's family, and you know, just even everyone's name on that list, all the city heads that are on the hit list as well. So they just do a really good job with it, and even some of the background story that, well, you have to do the reveal of who he actually is.
Yeah. I just also think like the fact that he is a dark mirror to Batman, where rather than like being a billionaire that like goes from the roots of Gotham to raise everyone up, he is someone who serves the ultra rich and powerful to put everyone else down.
Yes.
And it's this like clash of titans almost.
No, well, and that's what it's supposed to be here towards the end as well, because we're about to be on the last chapter here.
And Batman mentions that like March must have taken the serum to that, like the Electrum. That way, the knife wouldn't kill him. And as he's tied up, March opens up this this cabinet and starts putting on pieces of armor.
Yep.
As he's telling this story, and he's like, "You're telling me what I did, not who I am." So
yeah, he keeps getting pissed. He's like, "You're avoiding the question." Yeah.
and Batman's like, "Well, you had to have been an inmate, because you leave clues behind, not because you're sloppy, but because you're egotistical." And just this whole like he just keeps breaking down this whole plot of like, you told me about the sinkhole, you knew the records of the court were too good to penetrate, but you left a clue, like everything that you said has been some sort of hint. And like what sent you, like he's like what was the one thing that I said that tipped you off?
Yeah.
And
because Batman came there for a reason, he knows. Yeah.
And Batman realizes it was the pin, and the pin that he told him in the story,
because his mother
was the one that was the one that Martha Wayne was wearing in the portrait.
Yep.
Because like he had talked about this pin of like oh, my parents were in an accident, and the only thing I have left of her is this heart shaped pin that I made out of clay, and that was what was in the portrait. And um, so he says, "No, the truth and the lie, Bruce. That pin, it was only given to the mothers of children who lived here at Willowwood. So who am I, Bruce? Uh, I ask like the great owl, who?" And Batman's just like, "You're sick. You're nothing. Like you're like he's trying to attack him in some
Yeah.
way."
Right.
And the reveal is, "Your brother, Bruce. I'm Thomas Wayne Jr., the brother that never was from the other side of the mirror."
Also, harken back to Black Mirror.
And there's just like the reveal of
In the bottom
the
right there, yep.
mask, not his full mask, but like the under mask.
And then and he tells him the whole thing with the accident at the children's hospital, that Batman's like, I only know that it's because that that I had a brother that died 12 hours after the car accident with my mother that was in there, and then that was it. And basically he's trying to convince Bruce here, or that the Court of Owls had convinced Thomas Wayne Jr., or that we think that he is, that that he survived this, and that the Court of Owls brought him back, and that basically going into a whole poignant moment of like, you don't know how long I waited for you to come back for me. You never did. My parents never did. And the Court of Owls were there for me. So, it's like, is he telling the truth? Did the Court of Owls just kind of brainwash him? Bruce believes it's the brainwashing. He feels he really is with Thomas Wayne Jr. there. But we get more into that in Chapter 11, and it shows the owl to bat, and that's the end of that issue there.
I love this image.
I love that image as well.
I love his I love his suit. His suit might be one of my favorite like Batman villain suits.
100%. And it actually reminded me of when we read Last Throne, and even him piecing up the armor, putting on the final suit when Shredder fights Mikey at the end, because then it shows like that last battle with that powered up suit, and this owl suit is no joke. I mean, now we get to Chapter 11, My Brother's Keeper, the final chapter.
And like, I love this fight between the two of them, like, because it's the culmination of this entire mystery.
Yes.
And the entire conflict up to this point, and they're just like trading blows back and forth. And Batman's like, "You're not my brother. You can't be." And like, and Owlman just starts throwing him through walls.
Owlman is destroying him at this point. I mean, this is a very high tech suit. And at one point
he starts flying at one point.
Yeah. Batman actually uses his grappling hook to get on his foot, and is literally he's like, "Let's go on a tour of the city." And starts flying him everywhere. He's like basically giving him the background, the history, and why when he says from the other side of the mirror, he's like, "When I was stuck in this hospital room, I couldn't move. I was basically comatose for a long time until I was able to actually be part of the Court of Owls." And outside his window from the hospital room was the Wayne Tower. And that Wayne Tower basically had glass on it that was very reflective. So he always saw the city as in the reflection of a mirror, where it's like more or less upside down, kind of backwards. So he goes, "I'm your reflection on the other side of the mirror." And I always saw the city that way, through that lens.
And that, "Welcome to the other side of the mirror," as he literally throws him into the building.
Yep! Honestly, again, I don't know what it is with Greg Capullo, but he needs to teach a class to other illustrators, because this impact with glass, when he's getting kicked through the Wayne Tower back in Chapter 3, and him throwing Batman through the tower again now.
Great glass effects.
And these glass effects are stunning. Like, I mean, I've never seen art like this. This is just the indent, the angles, the lighting, the breakage of
There's
everything.
a reason he was the only, well, aside from a few occasions, but the primary like artist for the entire Batman New 52 run. And even afterwards.
I need to see more of this, because this art is just, I can't even get over it. It's too good. So yeah, he slams him in there, even slams him into like a bell tower, and I like how they just go bong. Like, I guess like if he bang,
he just threw him right into the bell. And then he brings him up to a commercial aircraft.
Yep.
And
you could talk more about that with the aircraft. This is a good sequence.
Yeah. and so Batman's like hanging on for dear life to this rope in front of the engine, and Owlman lets him go, and Batman's like hanging on to the edge of the engine, and
Mm-hmm.
he's like, "It's okay, Bruce, you can let go now." like,
Like,
just taunting him.
yeah, he's like, just go
And,
into the engine and like come out the other side all bloody, you know.
mhm.
And of course, we had the guy
and
watching outside the window.
and he's like, "Don't you just feel like you're being watched?" And like, all that time, you should have been watching your own back. And Bruce is just like, "You should take your own advice." And there's a Bruce has
That
put a
was
bomb on the
so
back.
good. I was like, Bruce, yes. And then he goes, oh shit. He's like, what's that supposed to mean? Boop! It just explodes. And then and this guy watching out the window, it's so funny because like I feel like there's always like a character in a, whether it's in Batman or another like superhero type of comic, where there's a character looking out the window, and then the flight attendant doesn't believe them. And they're like, I swear there was there was something out the window. So I thought that was just funny, like seeing the guy look out the window watching this fight happen.
It's just like,
Yeah, you see his face. He's like in shock, and like no one's believing this guy that like Batman's like on the fucking wing of the airplane. And then after all of that, of course, this comic loves its fall sequences.
mm-hmm. So Batman falls from the plane, and like he has a moment where he's like, "There's nothing to hold on to. She looks so beautiful up here."
Mm.
Like, like there's this moment where it almost feels like he's just giving up.
Yes.
And then,
yes.
and then he says, "But even as I do, the city, she calls me back to her. She saves me. She reminds me we still have work to do." Which then he uses his grapple into the like one of the towers that at the beginning of the book he said he was going to start building.
Mm.
And uses it on the girders of the building to then swing it inside and break his fall through some drywall.
Yeah, he's like, switch to high velocity bat rope now. And of course, like even when he doesn't barely has utility, but I actually kind of like seeing Batman without the cape. It's like so rare to see him without it. So I just like that illustration, but it's like you just won't stay. And I didn't think that honestly that Owlman would find him. And he, as soon as Batman lands in there, he's right on top of him.
It's like, you just won't stay dead, will you? He picks him up and like again, I just like even when he's like doing his under mask, like
my God, look how he looks. It looks so terrifying. I really love that just that crazy look in his eyes, or just in even the whole suit. He's very much like a Shredder. That very Shredder inspired.
Like I should what's the word? Not clarify. I should correct my previous statement. He's my favorite one-off Batman villain.
Oh, okay. Well, is he a one-off? That sucks.
He's used a couple of times later on, and not nearly to this kind of effect.
Oh, okay.
But this, like, him in this book specifically is like I love him here. Like, because he fits the tone perfectly. He looks awesome. I love his abilities, and like I feel like he should be used better, but he's not.
No, I mean honestly, yeah, he absolutely should. Like even the way he's holding him here, like you could feel the force, and I think that the way that they're illustrating how he's holding up Bruce is like this show of power. It's this dominance over
absolutely.
him, right? So it's supposed to show this dominance that, you know, even though, you know, because he was born at, so yeah, he's the little brother. That's just like he's overtaking him, like, and basically looking on the other side of the mirror, he goes, "I should have been Batman. Like this should have been my life. Everything that you had, that that you never came back for me for." So they really try to drive that home throughout the last part of the story here. And then that's when they talk about the name of Lincoln March.
And yeah, he starts like blowing up the floor that they're on, and he's like, the reason he didn't return as Thomas Wayne Jr. was because Bruce came back.
Yeah, he was supposed to have died. Yeah.
Yeah. Like the court thought like you can't just have someone else come in and like take up the Wayne family legacy, and then now you're showing up as Thomas Wayne Jr. Um, so they picked Lincoln March.
Right.
Um,
Yeah, because that, and honestly, from the Court of Owl's perspective, that would have worked out better. So I can see why they did what they did.
mm-hmm.
But I do love this last part here when he's basically defeating him, where he of course again with these quips that he uses against the villains all the time, and he's like die knowing this, you're nothing but a footnote, a blip destined to be forgotten. And as for me, I am Gotham's history. Batman just goes, finally, we agree on something, and then. I don't know how he even did that. That's a little gruesome even for Batman to eye gouge him, or like kind of
not fully
like blow out the lens that has on that mask.
Yeah, because like the mask underneath has like the Talon goggles essentially, so he just breaks the Talon goggles,
which is essentially
but also
blind
he's
to him.
undead at this point.
Yeah.
So like
Batman's
no killing rules kind of go out the window when you're undead or
he's treating you like a zombie at this point.
yeah.
He has zombie rules now. And then like
undead and like mindless alien like parademons like.
Oh yeah, because they're basically they're like robots. They're demonic.
They're mass produced. Like it's
like anything with Brainiac and stuff. Like with robots, it's something that doesn't have a heartbeat, so to him it's whatever.
And he's explained like with undead, it's like it's not actually them. It's whatever is puppeteering their body, pretending to be them. Like
yeah, and then that is even with any zombie lore for multiple shows. That's basically what it is. It's not really them.
So that's why his no-kill rule goes out the window as he then leaves Lincoln to explode in this building.
and I love that he's like, Lincoln's still taunting him. That he's like, when you feel that prickling in your back, I am coming from you from the other side of your reflection. I really like this mirror contrast, and they do it so well, especially, me reading Black Mirror, which thank you for doing that, because there was just so much callbacks here.
Yeah, it's like now you see why I was like, you have to read this first.
Yeah, no.
A lot of people
definitely
jump straight into this, and I can understand it. This was a great jumping on point.
Mm-hmm.
But also, like, to get the full breadth of context here, you need to have read Black Mirror first.
And it even says here, there's no casualties. He searched the whole building. It crumbled to the ground. And, that they just did not find Owlman's body. So then, of course, Dick comes here. And, they talk about the captured towns, what they're going to do with them. They have hundreds of captured towns in these cryogenic chambers. So, of course, because he decided not to kill them, they put them all to sleep. But I do like
Bruce
that.
has mapped out the labyrinth.
Yes, I saw that. I was like, oh, actually, he mapped it out. I thought that was pretty cool, actually.
I love when Dick shows up. He's like, I've planned on getting you back for that punch as soon as you are well.
Yeah.
Honestly, you're looking better than expected.
Yeah, he literally is just like if he came back just to knock him the fuck out. And he goes into this whole, like, which I love seeing, where he's like, going back, where he's like, you saved my life. Where Dick doesn't always understand the gravity of how much he actually means to Bruce Wayne. And here, where they actually have more of a poignant moment together, where, I mean, they went into a bit of explanation, the child being born premature with a neurological disorder, blah, 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 but I do like more with Dick and Bruce, like, kind of being back together here, where he's like, you did save me, and, where Dick, of course, makes the joke of, like, you're just saying that, so now I can't hit you. But it's always some bullshit.
And the whole time Bruce is like explaining about how there was another kid who was born prematurely, and he died. He had a brother for a single night, and and Dick is like, is there any way possible that like he was born and taken to this facility and then just like covered up? And Bruce is like, possibly, but
we don't know.
I don't think so. There's no signs that they're falsified. There's old records that there was an unknown baby admitted, but also Martha Wayne went to a bunch of charities, so she could have gotten she could have gotten that pin from anywhere.
That and that's what he says too. But I also feel that's too much of. It's just too coincidental. So honestly, I believe Thomas Wayne Jr. Honestly.
So this book, you're meant to come away with it going, oh, it could be either way. Who knows? Maybe he was telling the truth. Later iterations or later times that the character showed up, it is pretty much confirmed that no, he's not actually.
Oh, okay.
But I mean, he is just someone who, like the story that he tells about like being a baby, growing up in this orphanage, and then the Talon or not the court getting a hold of him.
Yeah.
Like, all of that is real.
Yeah.
Just before that, being the son of the Waynes is not. That is something that they told him to then get him motivated to become Owlman.
Right, and that's what Bruce was trying to say as well. But I do like that seems to be very typical of Scott Snyder's writing, just because in Black Mirror you see the same thing, where at the end we don't really know if James actually poisoned that shipment for the baby formula or not. So like it's just something where it's left up to your own interpretation. Honestly, I don't mind it. I actually really like that.
Yeah.
And then you know he's like
again. There's a reason why this is the only iconic book where he shows up.
Yeah. No, I absolutely get that. I just really like here, you know, even when he's talking to Dick and he's like, you know, he goes, I know that you feel like I saved you because you were meant to become one of the Talons, one of the Owls. And he goes, honestly, you saved me. He goes, it was the other way around. And there's something where, you know, I would never have grown as much as I am now without you, and I needed you here. I still need you. And then that's when they talk about Gotham being all of us. And of course, you know, and then of course Dick has to make sure he goes, still a little Batman, because he does say it's his. He always says it's his city, and they said that in chapter 1.
And I love, like, again, the artwork, beautiful.
The last page, and he's like, you know,
the eye.
He goes, I love the lesson they taught me. He goes, if they reemerge, when they reemerge, I'll be watching always, and he's watching back on them. So I absolutely love that there. Yeah,
there are 2 backups to this book. Don't necessarily need to go into them.
I know, yeah, because I know this has been a little long already, and it would be a lot to go into that. But it is for those of you that are going to read the additional stories. I read them, highly recommend, because it's just gonna expound upon more what you read here. It's, you know, something going to the letter. I love that. That's actually one of my favorite ones. The letter from his father, from Alfred's father, and truly explaining what happened that night. And the only thing I'll really bring up is where the name of Lincoln March came from. Because where the mother had the car accident was at the corner of Lincoln and March, and then that's how they came up with that name. So again, just to solidify more that he might actually be Thomas Wayne Jr. There's so much of a backstory there. When they actually show like each of the Talons going to each member of all the people on the hit list, so you'll see that in the additional stories. Highly recommend, definitely read that there. And then at the end they recommend all the comics. Of course, Black Mirror is showing as the first one because you should read that first. But yeah, I actually, and I already bought Absolute Batman. I honestly will most likely get Last Night on Earth and Dark Knight's Metal because I really want to see more.
Last Night on Earth is a nice one-off story.
Oh, nice. And is Hush it's part of that or no?
No. Okay, so
you're like, yeah, maybe.
So, Last Night on Earth is specifically like a one-off that Snyder and Capullo did. If you do pick up Metal, I would recommend not reading it yet because there's a few more stories I want to do before we get there, specifically from the New 52 run of Batman. Because that takes place at the end of the New 52.
Oh. So in which one you said Hush?
No, Dark Knight's Metal.
Oh, so that should be one of the last ones I read then.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. There's quite a bit of build up to it.
Okay. So I'll wait for that one then.
Hush. Hush is a good one. It is another classic. It is one I do want to cover. Because I do have it, and my mom even read it and loved it. So.
Wow. Okay. Wow.
But got the that one approval. Came out, I think. Hush came out in 2004, I want to say, or 2003. So long before any of this. But Hush is probably the best example of Jim Lee's artwork. Now the guy who wrote Hush is not exactly the best.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I know. I was looking at that there are different writers in some of these.
Yeah, Jeff Loeb is not the greatest guy. It by a long shot. But that is a very iconic story and a very fun mystery that is very interesting and has a lot of ramifications, especially when it comes to characters like Jason Todd, who had disappeared. That is the story that came out right before Under the Red Hood. And prior to that, Jason had disappeared for decades.
Decades?
Or just over a decade, I guess.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because Jason Todd died in the early 90s, I want to say.
So yeah, no, yeah. Then
So,
that sounds about right.
Yeah, and I think Under the Red Hood was 2004, I think. But there is an appearance of something that carries over into Under the Red Hood in Batman Hush there's a lot of history around there, especially since it is still post-crisis Batman.
Yes.
There's a lot to go into with that, but that is definitely an episode I want to have at one point because it's great and also it's shorter than this. But
yes. And yeah, for those of you watching, I mean, it's something where this will be the last stream release for the year, but we will do another next January, which we'll try to put up within the next 1 or 2 weeks. We still haven't decided fully what we're going to do for that. But
also, this is probably going to be one of the longest books we ever do.
Oh, and that's we still did it in one podcast, so I mean,
it is absolutely critical Batman reading. Like it is one of the most classic Batman stories of all time.
So
it is
good.
My favorite Batman story of all time.
I would reread this. I mean, I technically reread it twice because even when I was trying to do my online, I just ended up rereading some parts. And I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot about that. Like, so it just, my God, I couldn't recommend it enough. Even when I was talking to a few other people about it in between our last podcast, and I was like, I think illustration still is my favorite in Black Mirror, but nothing has beat the story of Court of Owls. I mean, this is just top-notch storytelling.
And as we go along, you'll find your favorite artists and such. You might have already with Jock and Francesca.
Greg Capullo is fucking up there. I mean, I can't even with this glass like impact art type of that he does. Like, I just
absolutely.
It's just it blows my mind.
I think you'll like Jim Lee's art as well when we eventually get to that.
Yeah, because Jim Lee seems to be the artist for Hush. I think I saw.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so no, I'm excited to read Hush as well. Is Hush something I could get into now?
You can jump into Hush at any point. Okay. I do want to do an episode on it though.
Oh, you do? Okay.
Yeah,
so eventually we'll do
that.
Okay.
That is absolute. There's a lot to talk about with it.
Right.
And it is very well worth it. But yeah, that one has been on my internal list for some time to talk about on here. But also, I don't want to just do a bunch of Batman books in a row.
I know. I was like, we get, and honestly, it wouldn't even bother me. But no, I guess we should just switch it up, which is why I didn't want to like just automatically say what we'll be doing for the next one, in case there's something we're gonna look at there. Yeah, for those of you there, you know, we try to update with our Twitter, YouTube for sure. All these podcasts go on YouTube, and I think within a week or two we'll try to see what we have lined up next, and I always update that on the Twitch channel. You'll see it in the panels below. We always put dates and times. Typically,
I'll
just
probably
dates.
make an announcement too.
Oh, okay, and yeah, and then if you let me know, that's something I'm definitely open to. All these other avenues. I know we have, you know, we've done Mr. Miracle, we've done TMNT, we've done Superman, looking at some of the Batmans now. So I'm definitely excited to jump into other characters, but I also love Batman, so I'm partial to Batman. Yeah, so yeah, for anyone in the chat there, we'll be doing in January just because with holidays and just a lot of more personal events coming up. We think January would be best for the both of us. And we're excited.
Yeah. The holidays are chaos.
yeah. And, you know, we're just both excited to see what we could start next. And hopefully, if this is something where we have more than a few books lined up, then we could just do more bi-weekly instead of monthly. Especially, you know, the holidays will be over. We'll be back to normal schedule again. So I think bi-weekly is good for me. I mean, I've been reading much faster now. I've been really getting into it, which is all thanks to you. So thank you. And yeah, I mean, definitely catch us then. I know usually we tell you at the end of what we'll be doing next, but we just want to give us a bit more time where we hopefully will not only tell you what we'll be doing in January, but maybe even have about 2 or 3 lined up, so we could give you more of like what upcoming. So we want to take a bit more time on that. So
Absolutely.
yes. So I mean, unless there's anything else you want to add, Wolvy, I was just gonna say if everyone's gonna have a happy holidays and a happy New Year because we won't see you until next year.
I'm glad you enjoyed the book.
Oh my god, it's like I could read this
I
like
figured
5
you
times.
would after
like,
Black Mirror. But
it's so like I can't get enough of it. I just all the emotional moments, how he's like at his lowest, which reminded me of a lot of like Superman up in the sky and like coming back to reality of why the city needs you, right? So like, and that hope, although Batman portraying it in a different type of way. So
absolutely, I think
yeah.
I've mentioned it before, and I think it was Morrison that said, if Superman, I could also be I could be paraphrasing and misattributing, so don't like take this
That's okay.
as gospel here. But if Superman is the light in the darkness, Batman is the one in the dark with you, telling you it'll be okay.
Yeah, no, that was it. Yeah. Because that was something
So, like,
they need each other. Like I can't imagine like Superman without Batman and vice versa. So like
there was a shocking amount of like hopefulness and optimism with Batman that people don't necessarily get right off the bat. But once you start reading him, it absolutely, it is integral to the character.
Yeah. Because he doesn't exist without it. If not, like Batman always said, he would have just became the Joker. So it's something where he needed that optimism to stay. Like it's always with that vengeance, something methodical for him to really, make sure he's protecting the city, but also that where he truly does feel they can come back from, their ways, and that, just because you're born in that villainry or whatever, it's being bad, that you're not like that the rest of your life. You can reform, and that there is that hope even for some of the villains that he goes against. So, which I like too. I think they're not just like bad. Like a lot of his villains are usually the most poignant villains because they do have a lot of these tragic backstories as well. So, he sees all of that, including the villains, as part of the city, and that's his city. So,
yeah, and he also believes that just about everyone can be redeemed, which is like that's a big part that a lot of people don't or tend to leave out when thinking about Batman. Is like, no, he genuinely wants to help anyone he can.
Yeah. He just doesn't do it
unless they're like pushing into like,
yeah.
Even then he's like I'm gonna do everything I can to help you, but God, you're making it hard.
yeah, you're making it hard, and that's the thing too, is that like he's still human under that, and his ways of doing it, I think people just resonate more because he's not so like Soldier Boy about it. Like I think that's where Superman, unless you read Up in the Sky and things like that, it is hard to get into him because he's too like all American, like trying to be goody two shoes type of thing. Where Batman's trying to do the same thing, but it seems more realistic and genuine. So it's just that perception of the two of them, even though they technically have the same goal.
There's a reason why Batman is the highest selling comic. Like,
yeah,
almost constantly.
It's funny. I think he's the most relatable. I think most of us, even as humans, and working in big cities and just how we go about life every day, it's hard not to be cynical, and but not going over that edge into madness, which Batman's always teetering on that line, kind of. Or So I think he's more relatable. But no,
and there's a reason he's been one of my favorite superheroes since I was a kid. Like
same.
It's
same.
Like, ever since I first had that little picture book of him from the animated series when I was a little kid, like I just it was I was very locked into the whole Bat mythos from an early age.
I love it. And it's because you could feel like it's one of the few where you could almost see it happening like realistically. Whereas someone that's just trying to like save the city that doesn't have powers. I mean, yeah, he's really rich, but other than that, it's just like really trying to I said Batman's been a favorite of mine since I saw the first. Yeah, no, same Shadow. That's what Wolvy was saying. I think the animated series is what really got me into him. That was 1992, so I don't know how old I was at that time. And but yeah, no, it's like, I probably didn't even see it so much later. I don't remember seeing it like the first year released. I probably was too young, but
and that, and then also for me it was the 2004 series really locked me into kind of the darker, harsh tone of the world, but while still like, it's Batman.
It's Batman.
Yeah.
But thank you everyone for joining. This has been absolutely amazing. I know Troy and Shadow, some of you that came in today. I am excited to see. I mean, because I don't even know what it's going to be yet. We're going to discuss it, but I'm excited for our next lineup of comics as well. So yeah, have a happy holidays. Enjoy the rest of your year, and hopefully have a happy New Year as well.